What'd you do with your jacket? Good evening and welcome to the pregame show for tonight's Aiken Standard Game of the Week. This week, we're live on the campus of Spring-Monetta High School out here at Highway 1, and they're being visited from a group from right down Highway 39 from Monetta. Wagener-Salley is here. The War Eagles, number 2 in the state, play the number 8 ranked Trojans of Ridge Spring. 2 Trojans 2 weeks in a row. And we expect this to be a good game.
I think it will be a good game, and it's kind of neat that we have 2 teams that are ranked in the top 10 in the state, okay? And they're playing for what they call the Aiken Classic tonight, okay? A trophy that goes to the number 1 Division 1A team in the entire county.
Now, Wagener-Salley 5-1 on the season, 3-0 in the conference in the region, while Ridge Spring is 3-3 and 2-1. And you would think maybe this would be a little lopsided.
Well, I'll tell you what, Wagener-Salley has really been playing well, and they set out with a goal to beat Willis-Elko. They did that convincingly, and the teams come in with a different approach this week probably. Wagener-Salley played a team in North that has only won 1 game in 3 years, and they simply dominated, beat them by more than 50 points. And on the other hand, Ridge Spring had an unusual ball game last week, losing 2-0. It sounded like a baseball score, but you know, that's unusual. They have great defense for both of these teams in their division, but I was shocked when Ridge Spring couldn't score last week. That really surprised me. So they've got some things to prove tonight offensively, and of course Wagener-Salley has really been good offensively all year.
All right, that's our matchup for tonight. What we're going to do is we'll take a break. We're going to come back and look at some of the other games that are playing in the area when we return in the pregame show for the Aiken Standard Game of the Week.
You can't always be there to protect her down the road. Make sure the tire she's riding on will. With the revolutionary Michelin Premier tire, even when half worn, it's still safe, thanks to EverGrip technology. The Michelin Premier tire, safe when new, safe when worn.
Welcome back. while we were away, fall arrived.
It's great out here tonight. This feels a little bit more like football weather.
We've been waiting for football weather since August, and we actually had more like football weather in August than we did in September.
That's right. We've had nothing but 85, 90-degree weathers for the ball games. Tonight, it's going to start out, I believe, probably close to 80, but it's going to go down, and I think by the time we're done here tonight, it's probably going to be in the low 60s, maybe in the 50s.
Hope you brought a jacket.
I did have a jacket with
Well,
me.
that's very good.
Okay.
Welcome back to the pregame show. We're on the campus of Spring-Monetta High School, out US Highway 1. It's about 10 miles or so out underneath I-20 to get out here. And it's a really neat place to come.
It is a neat place to come. They really, once again, it's small-time Friday night football lights. When we got here, lots of construction going on. They're making some renovations to the school, and I just met the principal, Kyle Blankenship, and really seems excited about what's going on at Ridge Spring.
Well, let's take a look at some of the other games that are going on in the area. Probably the game that's the biggest one. South Aiken is at North Augusta. North Augusta's at South Aiken. North Augusta 5-2. South Aiken 5-2. 4-2.
4-2. Yeah. And I'll tell you what, we're starting to get to the part of the season now where we're going to try to make a difference in the division playoffs and so on. So far in the 4A, nobody has really taken hold of it and said, you know, we're the best team. I wouldn't be surprised if there aren't a few teams that are saying, I don't want to play Aiken, or I don't want to play Brooklyn Casey, or I don't want to play North Augusta. So who's really the top dog? Tonight we're going to start to learn a little bit more about that when these two teams play.
Yeah, BC beat North Augusta, handed them their only region loss.
That's right.
And then South Aiken came from behind last week in a game with a bunch of scoring in it and won, even though we announced that they'd lost. They actually did come back and win, and they're kind of in the driver's seat.
Well, they're right there. If they can beat North Augusta tonight, I think they're in great shape for the playoffs, okay? But like I said, there's a couple teams that they probably don't want to see come playoff time because they're playing much, much better. I think tonight between these two teams, it's a battle of the quarterbacks, okay? You've got one quarterback in Tanner White who has right now 13 touchdowns that he's accounted for. And he splits it up pretty evenly between passing and running, okay? And then on the other side, Jesse Sanders has been more impressive as a runner than thrower so far this year, although I think he's got a great arm, and we may see him light up the scoreboard tonight with that. Both teams, a little bit disappointing still offensively for me this year, okay? I'm used to seeing over the last few years, they just lit it up every night. They haven't done that quite this year. South Aiken's averaging just a little over 20 points a game, and North Augusta just shy of 30. But I expected a little bit more out of both of these teams in terms of the production.
Who are you picking tonight?
You know what? I think this is kind of a toss-up game, but I'm going to go with North Augusta primarily because I really love their linebackers. I think they're all over the place, and I think that might be the difference in the game tonight.
I agree. They're very, very good, but got to go with South Aiken.
I know. Well, who didn't know that?
Yeah, exactly. All right, Aiken is at Airport. Aiken got their first win last week, beat Millen Valley. Now they take on Airport, who's 4-3 on the season. What do you think on this one?
Well, I'll tell you what, I've been high on Aiken all year. I thought that they would win more ball games, okay, and they've been very, very close. They went into a couple games and had a lead, put some points on the board, couldn't quite get across that bar. They hadn't won for over a year. Last week, they get their first win. I'm still impressed by him, okay? I think Corey Wallace has he's the leading passer in the area, okay? That's the main thing that they do, okay? And with Stavon Porter and Chavez Jones, two great receivers. They've got some speed. They can catch the football. They know what to do with it once they've got it. Coming against a team tonight that beat them last year in a close ball game, 14-6. I believe that Aiken's much improved over last year. And I think they finally started to get a little bit of a handle on their defense. I think they're going to win that game tonight, okay? It'll be a mild upset as far as most people think. The Airport Eagles are good. They're decent. They come in with a winning record, 4-3, so you would expect that they would be the favorite, and I'm sure they are. But I just have a feeling that Aiken's going to take it tonight.
And I agree with you. Aiken got the monkey off their back last week. Did it pretty convincingly, too, in beating Millen Valley. So I'm sure they would have rather have gotten the win against South Aiken, but they'll take it, and now they can get two. I agree with you. I think it's a pretty good chance for Aiken to pick up that second win and put all that behind them in the losing category. All right, Millen Valley is at BC. BC is shown to be a pretty good football team. Reed Sharpia. We'll have BC next week at Aiken. But this week, you've got Aiken I mean, I got distracted there. I don't know what they're doing behind us. But Midland Valley at BC.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Midland Valley comes in, haven't won a game this year, and that's got to be tough for them. Well, we all know that's tough. And they're playing a team that is very, very good offensively, okay? You've got Reach Arpia, and his dad is the head coach. He's throwing very, very well. I don't want to look ahead too much, but I can't wait to see Aiken and Brooklyn Casey next week. There will be footballs in the air all night long.
There'll be balls flying around next week.
Next week.
Sure.
But I think the Mustangs are in trouble tonight. I can't see them beating Brooklyn Casey.
Yeah, they're sort of on a roll. They're going to have to get that monkey off their back, too.
Yeah.
All right, Gilbert is at Strom Thurmond, both of them with 2 losses. Gilbert 4-2 on the season, 1-0 in conference in the region. Strom Thurmond 6-2 and 2-0.
Yeah, and these two teams were very even last year. 1 touchdown separated them, and Gilbert did pull out the win. Strom Thurmond's had a little trouble with some of the bigger schools. I think this is going to be a tough ball game tonight, but Strom Thurmond, Jaquan Harris has really lit the place up in the last couple of ball games, running the football and throwing it. They've got the leading rusher in the area in Stanley Hill. They've got one of the leading quarterbacks in Jaquan Harris. I think Strom Thurmond's going to come through with the win tonight, but I think it's going to be a nail-biter.
I think Gilbert will give them all they want. They're playing at home. They need to win. It won't be like playing North Augusta from a couple of weeks when Strom Thurmond looked very bad in that particular game.
No, I think they'll be fine.
They've really gotten going the last 2 weeks. All right, Silver Bluff is at Abbeville. Silver Bluff 3-3 on the season, 0-2 in region, and this isn't going to be easy. Abbeville undefeated.
And from what I've heard, I have not seen Abbeville play, but from what I've heard, okay, they are an outstanding football team. I was shocked when they beat Fox Creek 50-0 last week, and I'm sure they ran the clock in the second half. From what I've heard, they said it might have been worse if they, if they wanted it to be. Abbeville, very, very good. I think Silver Bluff's improved. I like what D'Angelo Bryant's doing with the team. 3-3, but they've lost the last couple. That's not a good way to go into playing the #1 seed in the region. So I think Abbeville is going to probably win that game tonight.
Yeah, it's at Abbeville. That's a tough one, but
yeah,
Silver Bluff,
tough one.
Get out there and get after them. All right, Fox Creek is at Saluda. I look at this as being tough on Fox Creek. They both have similar records, 3-3, 4-3, but
same thing. I think Saluda has they're probably a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger overall than Fox Creek. And I like Cam Mitchum very much. I'm impressed by what Fox Creek has done over the last 2 seasons. But once again, I think one of our teams might be in for a long night tonight. I think the game will be a whole lot better than it was last year. I think, or last week, I should say. Fox Creek kind of got embarrassed against a very good team. They'll want to come back tonight and play much better. I think they'll do that.
Yeah, Saluda's a pretty good football team, and they beat Silver Bluff fairly easily. So,
so it's
I think this will be a tough one. Williston Elko is at North. Williston Elko now can get on a little bit of a roll.
Well, they will get on a roll. They won a ball game last week. Tough ball game. It was a good football game, and they came out on top. They're playing a team tonight that has only won 1 game in 3 years, and they got they don't score any points, and they give up a boatload of points. Williston Elko is not quite as strong as they've been. We talked to Coach last week, and he admits, they're a little young. They're still learning. They don't have quite the depth that they've had, but they'll win tonight, and I don't think it'll be close.
Yeah, I tend to agree with all that. We were pretty much in agreement tonight.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, that's
only one, and I know you had to say South Aiken, and you could well be right. I think that's a toss-up game, but I'll go with North Augusta just so we have something different. So
seems fair enough.
Yeah, that's right.
It does. All right, that's a look at the games in the area. When we come back, we're going to talk some more about our game tonight from Rich Spring. It's senior night, and they've got a big game, Wagener-Salley and Rich Spring. When we return on the pregame game of the week.
I had back issues for a while. I kept going back with different complaints. My doctor, he said, surgery's not going to do you any good. So I would recommend to you therapy. After therapy, I'm a lot better. I'm so grateful for that. I'm a lot better. Thanks to Aiken Regional Hospital for the joy that was put back into my life. Now I'm able to get on the floor and play with the children. And it's just a relief.
It all started at one family night in Dumfries, Virginia. Family night is for everybody. It's a time for families to do crafts together.
The kids just love going to Chick-fil-A for dinner. Being the single mom and getting everybody ready, it was tough. We would get there a little bit late, like on the tail end of it. Helen saw that I was having trouble getting them to Chick-fil-A for the family night on time and actually got it extended another hour. Noticing things like that. I never really told her how much she affected me, but she did.
Love you.
Move. Move.
Spring-Monetta High School, where tonight they take on their Highway 39 rival, Wagener-Salley. It's the War Eagles against the Trojans, and again, one team ranked number 2 in the state, and
right.
the other number 8.
Number 8 and number 2, that's pretty good. All right, I'm looking forward to this game. We've been here before for this championship game, and it turned out to be a very good football game. The people in this community really enjoy this, and they treat the players well, and the players really respond. Ridge Spring has a lot of football history. Okay, they go back a long time, and they've got some trophies in their trophy case that go back years and years and years. The last few seasons, they've been a pretty good football team, and last year they were also very good. This year, like I say, they're playing pretty well. They're getting in their division now. Their defense, I think, is the strength of their team right now. They seem a little better defensively than they do offensively. They've got one guy, Reagan Cherry, 82 tackles so far this year. That's a season. They've got several games to go yet.
When I was going through the stats, I was like, their offensive numbers not all that great, but the 2 Cherries, I guess they're brothers.
Yeah, they probably are. Okay, and I'll tell you what, I found the same thing when I looked at the stats for both of these teams, really. You don't see any of the offensive players up near the top necessarily. Okay, but that's because both of these teams really spread the ball out with different people. They got 2 or 3 running backs that they like. Both quarterbacks doing a nice job. I particularly like Mikael Landry. We talked about him a lot last year. He had a good season last year. Mm-hmm. They got disappointed in the playoffs last year. They're looking to go further. They've taken the first step. They did beat Willis-Elko. Okay, I like what both these coaches do. I've been out to watch some of their practices over the years. Okay, Willie Fox at Wagner and Kenny Lipsey here at Ridge Spring. I like their enthusiasm. I like the way they handle their practices. Their kids seem relaxed, but they seem enthused. Okay, and I like that. 2 good teams coming tonight. If I had to pick a team tonight, I got to think that Wagener-Salley should be the one that is favored. They've put a lot more points on the board. So far this year, they've scored 234 points, only given up 57. That's pretty impressive.
That's pretty impressive.
On the other hand, Ridge Spring, 128 points and given up 130. So they've scored some, but they're not as explosive as they have been the last couple of years. Their quarterback is a youngster, all right, and that probably has something to do with it. He's still learning how to play up here on the varsity level.
And Ridge Spring lost a couple of games to some up schools. They played up in the rankings, played teams that gave them a hard time from that perspective. Now, talking about Wagener-Salley, you know, when we first started this 10 years ago, whatever it's been, Wagener-Salley was kind of like the team that you didn't expect
scheduled
a
twice.
whole lot. Yeah, they just weren't good. But they've changed that. I mean,
sure
5-1 and ranked number 2 in the state.
That's right.
That's pretty impressive.
And it's been a process, okay? Even 4 years ago or 5 years, well, I think 4 years ago, they started and they said, you know, we're going to try to improve. And when these kids are a little older and a little more experienced, they're going to be good. He's got some of those kids now, and they are playing well. Okay, you got to like what he's done with them. You got to like what they've done. All right, an impressive football program.
And you know, from the standpoint, both of them have an opportunity to be in the playoffs. I would say that Wagener-Salley's well on its way. What's Ridge Spring got to do to get to the playoffs?
Well, they've got to win a couple of ball games coming down the road here. That's obvious. Okay. I think they will, okay? I'm not sure about tonight, but I think they're going to eventually make it into the playoffs. And, you know, you talked a little bit about the fact that they play up. Well, there's only 2 1A schools in this county, so, you know, they've got to play up. And a lot of coaches think that really gives you confidence for the future. Sometimes you just get your brains beat out, and it does just the opposite, okay? So right. It's always a struggle for the smaller schools if they have to play up and then try to come out into their division. But they're in that now. Let's hope this is a good ball game. I think it's going to be a very good ball game, and I'd like to see both of these teams, of course, in the playoffs later on.
Yeah, and we were here, I think it was 2 years ago, for this same group, and it turned out to be a sort of a track meet from both of them as they were running up and down the field. Yeah. That's sort of, we don't expect that as much. You can see Wagener-Salley maybe doing it. Ridge Spring's got to keep it close, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Okay, and like I said, I was shocked last week when they didn't score. And as I understand it, the coach had told them before the game, you know, this other team, I don't think they can score against us. So if we keep them from scoring, of course, you can't lose. And they gave up a safety, and that was the difference in the ball game, which rarely, if ever, happens. A 2-0 score in football, very, very rare.
Yeah, it was surprising. When we saw the score on our scoreboard, we went, that must be a mistake.
Yeah. Well, they were playing some baseball last week. I thought they were talking about one of the baseball games. okay? But this game tonight is also important to these kids and to these communities, okay? The trophy that they win sticks it in the lobby or the hallway of the school that's got it right now, okay? Ridge Spring has got that, but Wagener-Salley would like to get it back. And so it's important to these kids. I think it's kind of a neat tradition.
It is a good tradition. All right, we've got Wagener-Salley, the War Eagles, visiting Ridge Spring, the Trojans, right here on Ridge Spring's campus. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll get ready for the kickoff and tonight's game here on the Aiken Standard Game of the Week.
I knew he was in trouble. I didn't really know that it was a heart attack, but I knew he was in trouble. His right coronary artery was 99% blocked and already collapsed.
So within 10 minutes, they had put a stent in.
I'm so glad that we made that decision to go to Aiken Regional right away.
We definitely made the right decision in going to Aiken Regional.
I don't think we could have gotten better care.
You can't always be there to protect her down the road. Make sure the tire she's riding on will. With a revolutionary Michelin Premier tire, even when half worn, it's still safe, thanks to EverGrip technology. The Michelin Premier tire, safe when new, safe when worn.
I had back issues for a while. I kept going back with different complaints. My doctor, he said, surgery's not going to do you any good. So I would recommend to you therapy. After therapy, I'm a lot better. I'm so grateful for that. I'm a lot better. Thanks to Aiken Regional Hospital for the joy that was put back into my life. Now I'm able to get on the floor and play with the children. And it's just a relief.
It all started that one family night in Dumfries, Virginia. Family night is for everybody. It's a time for families to do crafts together.
The kids just love going to Chick-fil-A for dinner. Being the single mom and getting everybody ready, it was tough. We would get there a little bit late, like on the tail end of it. Helen saw that I was having trouble getting them to Chick-fil-A for the family night on time and actually got it extended another hour. Noticing things like that, I never really told her how much she affected me, but she did.
Love you.
Move.
I knew he was in trouble. I didn't really know that it was a heart attack, but I knew he was in trouble. His right coronary artery was 99% blocked and already collapsed.
So within 10 minutes, they had put a stent in.
I'm so glad that we made that decision to go to Aiken Regional right away.
We definitely made the right decision in going to Aiken Regional.
I don't think we could have gotten better care.
You can't always be there to protect her down the road. Make sure the tire she's riding on will. With a revolutionary Michelin Premier tire, even when half worn, it's still safe, thanks to EverGrip technology. The Michelin Premier tire, safe when new, safe when worn.
I had back issues for a while. I kept going back with different complaints. My doctor, he said, surgery's not going to do you any good. So I would recommend to you therapy. After therapy, I'm a lot better. I'm so grateful for that. I'm a lot better. Thanks to Aiken Regional Hospital for the joy that was put back into my life. Now I'm able to get on the floor and play with the children. And it's just a relief.
It all started that one family night in Dumfries, Virginia. Family night is for everybody. It's a time for families to do crafts together.
The kids just love going to Chick-fil-A for dinner. Being the single mom and getting everybody ready, it was tough. We would get there a little bit late, like on the tail end of it. Helen saw that I was having trouble getting them to Chick-fil-A for the family night on time and actually got it extended another hour. Noticing things like that, I never really told her how much she affected me, but she did.
Love you.
Move.
I knew he was in trouble. I didn't really know that it was a heart attack, but I knew he was in trouble. His right coronary artery was 99% blocked and already collapsed.
So within 10 minutes, they had put a stent in.
I'm so glad that we made that decision to go to Aiken Regional right away.
We definitely made the right decision in going to Aiken Regional.
I don't think we could have gotten better care.
You can't always be there to protect her down the road. Make sure the tire she's riding on will. With a revolutionary Michelin Premier tire, even when half worn, it's still safe, thanks to EverGrip technology. The Michelin Premier tire, safe when new, safe when worn.
I had back issues for a while. I kept going back with different complaints. My doctor, he said, surgery's not going to do you any good. So I would recommend to you therapy. After therapy, I'm a lot better. I'm so grateful for that. I'm a lot better. Thanks to Aiken Regional Hospital for the joy that was put back into my life. Now I'm able to get on the floor and play with the children. And it's just a relief.
It all started that one family night in Dumfries, Virginia. Family night is for everybody. It's a time for families to do crafts together.
The kids just love going to Chick-fil-A for dinner. Being the single mom and getting everybody ready, it was tough. We would get there a little bit late, like on the tail end of it. Helen saw that I was having trouble getting them to Chick-fil-A for the family night on time and actually got it extended another hour. Noticing things like that, I never really told her how much she affected me, but she did.
Love you.
Move.
Good evening. You're looking live at the field. It's the Walter J. Davis Jr. Stadium on the campus of Ridge Spring-Monetta High School, where tonight the Trojans host the War Eagles of Wagener-Salley, who've traveled up Highway 39 from down in Wagener-Salley from their spot in East Aiken County all the way up here into the northeast corner of Aiken County for tonight's Aiken Standard Game of the Week. Ken Brace along with Ed Gerardo, and we are excited about being here tonight.
And I'll tell you what, we've got senior night. I believe it's homecoming also here. Okay, so there's a lot of excitement. Lots of good things happening up here at Ridge Spring. The renovation of the building. They've got a couple kids that have already been offered occupational jobs. I think one just signed with the National Guard. They've got a couple guys that may be going on to play a little football in college. They're kind of excited and pleased with what the young men have done.
All right, they're playing the bells. I associate this with, I used to play this when I was a PA announcer at South Aiken. Before South Aiken came out on the field, I'd have a horse winnowing, whatever.
Winnowing?
Winnowing into that song, but we're getting ready for high school football. Friday Night Lights, and this is out U.S. Highway 1 out of Aiken. You go underneath Interstate 20, travel about 10 miles, and it's all of a sudden past the peach orchards and different farms. You come to a high school sitting out in the field, and it's a beautiful setting here for high school football. So the captains have gathered for Wagener-Salley on the far side. We're waiting for the Ridge Spring captains to show up, much less the rest of the team. Wagener-Salley is wearing their white jerseys with their red pants, red helmets. They're standing in the end zone waiting for Ridge Spring to show up. Ridge Spring will be wearing their traditional baby blues in terms of their jerseys. And the trophy sitting at midfield on the 50-yard line. What's the name of the trophy, Ken?
They're calling that the Aiken Classic Trophy, okay, for Division A teams here. The Aiken Classic, and right now it has been residing in the lobby at Ridge Spring High School. The last time we were here, Wagener-Salley brought the trophy over with them, and unfortunately for Wagener-Salley had to give it to Ridge Spring, so they would like to get it back now.
So it's been here for a couple of years. Wagener-Salley ready to take the trophy back to Wagener-Salley High School. And obviously we got out here early for the pregame, and Ridge Spring making a dramatic appearance. It's senior night, and all the seniors from Ridge Spring were recognized before the game, and senior football players were out on the field, and the rest of them were over here in the end zone next to us. None of them had shoulder pads on. So it was.
I think they better put them on. They'll probably need those tonight.
I would think so, but they had to get in the locker room and change clothes.
We've got the 4 captains for Wagener-Salley across the field. Let me give you their names and positions so that we can move on to the Trojans when they get out here. Number 4, Denzel Kitching. He's a senior, running back and linebacker. Number 8, Caleb Shaw, a junior, running back and defensive back. Number 16 is Josh Davis, a senior, running back and linebacker. And number 65 is Dalton Fields, a senior, plays offensive and defensive line. Those are your captains for Wagener-Salley.
All right.
As soon as the captains for Ridge Spring show up, we'll give those to you.
Well, the AC/DC has stopped abruptly, and there's police lights out in the field. If I remember correctly, that signals the appearance of the Trojans. If we miss it, but we're still waiting for them. This is Coach Brace's favorite part of the game, where they introduce the officials.
Ask everyone to please respect our officials. Show good sportsmanship on the Wagener side, good sportsmanship on the Ridge Spring-Monetta Trojan side.
I have a friend who is a referee, and he reviewed one of our films and wasn't completely pleased with the way we were responding to some of the official calls. And he took me aside one day, and we had a little discussion. He explained some things to me that didn't know. One of the things that's happened this year is before, it seems like every game we've had, before they can run the first play from the line of scrimmage in the ball game, the referees have to take somebody to the sideline because they've got equipment problems or something. And he was explaining the rule has changed. He used to just let them fix it. Now they got to go out for a play, and somebody got to come in for them.
I think we figured that out.
Yeah, we did, eventually.
It slows down the game, but I think that's something that, on the college level as well. I've seen that happen in those games. As far as this goes, there's no real press box. They have a very small press box, and there's not enough room in it for us to sit. So we're sitting out in the stands with the fans, and this is always an interesting thing that we get to do from time to time. And one of the things is we get to hear the PA really well. And they play Enter Sandman, I expect, for Trevor Hoffman to enter as the reliever. That's what that song always reminds me of. Trevor Hoffman, who was the famous San Diego Padres reliever, would come in to Enter Sandman. And they would be waving the towels as they came in. Now, before the game started, Ken picked out number 55 for Ridge Spring as being a big boy without his shoulder pads on. And I think you were right. He's pretty big. He's one of our captains.
Yes, he is. And being it's senior night, you will see all the seniors walking out to the hash marks. But the captains, if I could run down there for you now for Ridge Spring. Number 8 is Jerry Tyler. He is a senior, wide receiver and defensive back. Okay. Number 33, Brendan Frazier, a senior. He's the fullback and a linebacker. Number 50, Kelson Palmer, senior, offensive and defensive lineman, and he looks like a lineman, doesn't he? Okay, and number 55, Jason Rogers. He is a senior also, offensive and defensive lineman. Those are your captains.
And I can tell you that, like I said, they're wearing their baby blue, Ridge Spring that is wearing their baby blue home jerseys with gold piping and dark blue numbers. And I can tell you, when they get out midfield, I've got no idea what those numbers say. And they're wearing dark blue pants. Some of them wearing pink socks. And there's a range of different colored socks out there. Don't know that that means anything. One of them has pink shoes. And that's number 4, Denzel Kitchings. And I'd have to guess he's probably fast. Just from looking, he looks fast to me. He's a wide receiver, cornerback, strong safety. And they list him at 5'10", but I believe he may be a little bit less than that. Number 9, Jacavius Jones, is listed as 5'9", and he's about a head shoulder.
And Wagener-Salley appears to have won the toss. And they deferred to the second half.
And deferred to the second half. Trojans will receive the ball.
Trojans are going to get the football to start the ball game. Wagener-Salley will go on defense, and I'm very curious to see how the offense for Ridge Spring looks tonight. Okay, last week they got shut out. That's unusual for them. Doesn't usually happen, and I'm sure they want to get back some points tonight.
And this is an interesting field. Most of the fields we go to run north and south. This field actually runs east and west. So Wagener-Salley will be defending the west goal. And here comes Wagener-Salley onto the field. The seniors run out to greet the rest of their teammates. And I think both groups are excited to get this game going. We're gonna miss the Friday night lights senior night in 2019.
Got some sort of a smoke machine behind them over there. And here come the Trojans.
Looked like they had to lift up and run under it. They're out here on the field. Again, sitting in the stands, you get a aspect of it that you don't get sitting in the booth. Like Aiken High, you're so isolated because the windows don't open and you can't really hear anything except the PA announcements.
And we will be able to hear what Mom and Dad have to say about their players.
And we better say nice things about them.
We'll say nice things.
We always do. Hey, the officials are sometimes our scapegoat, I guess. All right.
Daniel Harris and J.R. Tyler back deep for the Trojans. And Johnny Freeman.
Johnny Freeman, Jerry Tyler, back to receive the kick.
Not sure. We'll pick up the kicker here in a minute. The kick is away, and we are underway. Fielded down around the 10-yard line. Cutting back across the field, trying to find a seam. He's going to get a block. Turn inside and be brought down past the 35 to the 37. So
nice run back to start the ball game, Ed.
Yeah, Trojans are in business.
Good field position to start.
So Remini Liebart will lead his team out on the field as the quarterback. He's 26 of 70 for the season, 293 yards. And as we said, they didn't score last week, so they must keep it on the ground.
As we said, he's young. He's only a freshman.
And he's dragged down in the backfield for a loss. Back to the 32, a loss of 5 yards. Bring up second down and 15.
Terrific penetration that time. Big loss for the first play.
Good penetration by Wagener-Salley to get back there. Caleb Shaw comes over to the sidelines and gets the play. Brings it back to the huddle. Two split wide to the left. Back in the backfield, going to keep, and there's a flag. And I believe that may be movement where that
and Wagener-Salley's got to be a little careful there. That referee was blowing the whistle, and they continued to carry the ball carrier and then dumped him. I think he gave him a little bit of a warning, too. Once you hear that whistle, you can stop.
All right, the referee.
Looked like it was against Ridge Spring,
yeah,
yes.
It was a procedure. As the flag came out, you had to figure that was what it was going to be. So they declined the penalty.
Penalty is declined. It'll bring up 3rd down and 15.
Looks like they had no gain on the play. 3rd down and 15 coming up. The back judges who called that. Coach walked out on the field, wanted an explanation as to what it was. Actually, the umpire was who called it.
They got a mismatch over here, Ed. Now they adjust.
One split wide to the right, 3 to the left. Back to pass. Tries to throw a screen. Oh, almost picked off. Wagener-Salley's big number 75 is Jacoby Schofield. Schofield probably won't get a better shot to get an interception ever.
He would love that. He had a lot of green grass in front of him.
Yeah, the guy was running away from him. He could have curled in and maybe gone the distance. But as it is, it's 4th down and 15, and Wagener-Salley will get the ball here on the punt.
Very impressive defensive start for Wagener-Salley. Lots of pressure. Ridge Spring, no yardage.
Drop the ball, picks it up, gets it away. That's going to angle over to the sidelines, be a good punt.
Takes a great Ridge Spring bounce.
Al Swedenberg was deep to receive. He had no chance to get that one. So he's down to the 27-yard line. That kick covered about 47 yards.
Good job by the punter. It was a low snap, lots of pressure on him. Got off a nice punt.
So here's our first look at Wagener this season. 5-1 on the season, 2-0 in the region play. Ranked number 2 in the state. That's our first look at Quintez Barnes. He's the running back. He's got 484 yards rushing this season, 5 touchdowns. And they line up in a double set in the backfield where the snap can go to either or. Now, what is that formation, Coach?
You see, you know, we're seeing that in a few different teams now.
This is Barnes again. He's going to pick up the first down with more yardage.
It looks like, you know, a power eye from out of the shotgun, doesn't it?
Yeah. But he's got an option, I think. They're both set up to take the snap. So you're really not sure who he's going to snap it to.
And he's got a couple of blocking backs in front of him. They have a tight formation for the most part.
Pick up to the 41-yard line. Chandler Law Firm 1st and 10. That's a inside little reverse action there. Ridge Spring made a good play. Caleb Shaw on the run. Picked up a yard. 2nd down and 9.
Nice tackle that time by Trey Dean, number 44.
That ball went past the quarterback, back to Barnes. Barnes gets knocked down. He's going to lose a yard, maybe 2.
We talked about him before in the pregame show. Reagan Cherry, he's got 82 tackles coming into the ball game, and he made a big tackle right there. Textbook tackle.
And what's interesting is his brother, Hayden Cherry, has 79 coming into the game. So they're quite a tandem.
And both of them juniors.
Ridge Spring makes a big tackle in the backfield for a loss. So 4th down, Ridge Spring picks up a 1st down on this opening possession, but they get knocked down for a loss. They end up 4th down and 13.
Good defensive series for Ridge Spring. Both teams looking sharp on defense to start the ball game. Back to punt, Mikkel Landy.
Blocked and picked up and returned all the way back to the 16, call it the 17-yard line. And Ridge Spring is in business. Chandler Law Firm 1st and 10 after the block punt from the 17.
And it certainly looked like Landy was deep enough for the snap. Didn't appear to be a poor snap. They were just in there in a heartbeat and blocked it cleanly. Excellent defensive play by Ridge Spring special teams.
So Ridge Spring, who went 3 and out on their opening possession, they come back out here. Leopard leads the way. No gain on that. That'll bring up 2nd down and 10.
And number 75, Jacoby Schofield, in on the tackle.
Collier Sullivan was the ball carrier. He's got 744 yards rushing this season and 10 touchdowns. So you would think we'd see a good bit of him. He lines up in the backfield next to Leopard. Hands off to him. He breaks a tackle, finds room. Here comes a flag. And from where that was thrown, you usually get a hold call. The umpire in the middle of the field.
And that flag came out pretty quick. I think you're right, Ed. Probably holding.
And he called a chop block. I was going to say, he made the signal with one hand. That's even worse.
Yep.
That's a 15-yarder. That's going to make it 2nd down and 24.
Put it on.
Let's take a look at the Aiken ophthalmology. Did you see that replay? And that's the play before of the run. This is the punt.
And that's the play that they just called, and you could see the chop. They were trying to double team somebody and put on an illegal block.
Okay, 2nd down, 24.
Ball's at the 33, 2nd and about 25 for the Trojans.
Three split wide to the right, 1 to the left. Back to pass, going to throw it downfield. Got a man down there, nice looking pass. Couldn't get his hands up. No call.
Pass is incomplete.
Going to the end zone. That's a nice looking pass.
25.
Pass intended for Jerry Tyler, number 8. He was covered by Caleb Shaw, number 8.
So 3rd down and 24 now. And you figure this 4-down territory, Ridge Spring shouldn't try to get it all back on one play. Maybe get half here. At least a few. Runs to his right, drops back to pass. Now going to run. Trying to buy him some time. He was hoping to get a gap and shoot the gap. Could not get in there. So 4th down coming, and the punting unit will come on. They'll try to pin Wagener-Salley deep as the ball's at the 30-yard line of Wagener-Salley. So I would imagine this is what worked last week, that they tried to keep both teams pinned down. Wagener-Salley not even deep. Ooh, gets it away. That's going to sail to the end zone. Well, they flip it back, but I believe it got in for a touchback. Touchback, it'll be Wagener-Salley's ball at the 20-yard line. So 10 yards gained on that exchange. Wagner will start from the 20.
We've got a flag down also.
There is a flag on the field, in the backfield.
There's a flag down.
And apparently it's against Wagner as they talk to the Ridge Spring players. If I was Ridge Spring, I'd take the penalty and try something. See if they can pin them a little deeper in the 20 or run a play. Called them offsides, did they not? So a 5-yard walk-off. So it's 4th and 19. They'll punt anyway from the 25-yard line. Now, how often do we see this, Coach?
Not very often, and he may just.
I believe he just thought about it again and may run the offense back out. Got a timeout on the field. We'll take one with them. You're watching Aiken Standard Game of the Week.
It all started that one family night in Dumfries, Virginia. Family night is for everybody. It's a time for families to do crafts together.
The kids just love going to Chick-fil-A for dinner. Being the single mom and getting everybody ready, it was tough. We would get there a little bit late, like on the tail end of it. Helen saw that I was having trouble getting them to Chick-fil-A for the family night on time and actually got it extended another hour. Noticing things like that, I never really told her how much she affected me, but she did.
Love you.
Welcome back. Ridge Spring calling a timeout to go talk about this. It's 4th down, 19 yards, and they will run the offense back on the field. They're at the 25-yard line. They kick it in the end zone. They only gain 5 yards. You might as well see if you can dial up a play here. It's Leopard, drop straight back, going to throw to the corner end zone. Got a man.
He had him.
Not haul it in. Down close to the goal line.
I knew he was in trouble.
In the end.
I didn't really know.
And that was aimed at Reagan Cherry, number 16. And oh my goodness, he had a chance for it.
Couldn't bring it in. Good defense to strip him of the ball. So 5:44 left to go here in the first quarter. No score. Wagener-Salley has their second possession of the game. They picked up a first down on their first possession and then were stopped and had a punt blocked. Here comes Barnes. Barnes had some success. Here comes a flag. Barnes lost yardage. Holding against Wagener-Salley is the call. And I would guess they're going to take that 10-yard walk-off as suddenly Wagener-Salley finding it very difficult to run. They lost yardage on after their first down. And Ridge Spring is advertised very good defensively.
Playing tough so far. Both teams playing well defensively. Trey Dean again in on the tackle.
First down and 20.
So walk off goes down to the 15 from the 24 there at the 14-yard line. Second down and 20. First down and 20 rather. And they swarmed.
Davon Harrison, Brendan Frazier. Reagan Cherry on the stop.
And as I look at the stats, you know, Landry has only thrown 40 passes so far. That's about 6 a game. So they're a running football team, and it looks like Ridge Spring is out there and saying, you're not going to run it against us. If you're going to beat us, you're going to have to throw it a little bit. They have not shown any propensity to do that so far. And Ridge Spring, over the years, has had good defensive teams. They look sharp so far tonight. And in essence, the defense for Ridge Spring, they threw a shutout last week too.
Now with Barnes leading tackle. Now he gets outside. Ridge Spring going to have to tackle him down the field, push him out of bounds right at midfield.
Another flag down right at the line of scrimmage.
So what will the call be? Holding against Wagener-Salley is the call. And that's a big loss there, because they'll bring it back, bring it 10 yards. That gain was 35 yards. It's nullified on the hold.
And they had 4 blockers out in front of the ball carrier that time. And in that replay, you could see that one of them had his arms wrapped around the defensive player. I believe 44 was being held, and that's what it gets called back for. Another loss of 10.
So it's second down. Ball's marked back to the 12-yard line. And I believe Wagener has called the timeout. The referee pointed at Ridge Spring, but it is Wagener who takes the timeout. We'll take one with him. We'll be right back.
You can't always be there to protect her down the road. Make sure the tire she's riding on will. With the revolutionary Michelin Premier tire, even when half worn, it's still safe, thanks to Evergrip technology. The Michelin Premier tire, safe when new, safe when worn.
Welcome back. I bet you can hear that music. A little Queen. They are rocking us right here in our headsets.
That song has been a football song ever since the 1960s.
No, that came out in the 1980s.
Oh, wait a second.
Rock you.
Wait a second. Now, Queen
came out.
Was it that late?
Yes, it was when I was in college.
Ah.
So Wagener runs, gets a little of it back.
You were in college in the 80s?
Yes, it was. George Rogers won the Heisman Trophy in 1980. Actually, I think that album was released in 1979, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it was a little earlier in the 70s, but we'll check that.
I don't think you want to argue with me on that.
Oh, I know. You're the music man.
All right, they spread the field here on third down. Empty backfield with the quarterback real quick. Little bubble screen that did not work. Ridge Spring got in there, gained a few yards. It's going to be fourth down and at least 16.
Landy back in punt formation again. Last one was blocked, of course. Setting up great field position for Ridge Spring. Could not take advantage. I wouldn't be surprised to see them come after this one.
So deep to return for Ridge Spring is number 8, Jerry Tyler. Another little high snap in the line drive. This will take a hop, and he's going to get a chance. Oh, nice move. Stays on his feet. Looked for a block. Couldn't get it, and he's brought down. But he returns the ball past the 50-yard line into War Eagle territory at the 49-yard line.
That was Tyler on the return, Shaw and Bynum on the tackle.
So Chandler Law Firm 1st and 10 for the Trojans as they bring them out on the field. As they try to get their offense cranked up here. Collier Sullivan in the backfield with Remedy Leopard. Gets outside, going to gain good yardage and blows some defensive guys back, and he's going to pick up a first down as he gains 11 yards. Moves it inside the 40 down to the 37. So give him 12 yards. Chandler Law Firm, 1st and 10. And here comes a flag.
Flag down on the play, Collar Sullivan on the carry.
Side judge called that, and it was a late flag. So it's going to be interesting to see what he called from that position on the field. They have a long discussion about that. Apparently it's against Wagner.
They want the penalty, whatever it is.
You would think so. They gained about 3 yards on the play. But 5-yard penalty.
And you know, one of the wide receivers saw that and pointed it out to the official.
Now they called a face mask, and they must have an incidental face mask.
That's right.
5 yards. Like I said, that came from the side judge late, so somebody over here on the left side of Ridge Spring got the Wagner player got their hand up in the face. So 1st down and 5. They hand off again. Collier going to be a loss on this play. And I believe he'll be back to where he was on the initial run. So the 34-yard line.
2nd and 8.
That'll be 2nd down and 7. Lost 2 yards on that play.
Bynum, Nesbitt, a couple of the defensive linemen surrounded him that time, nowhere to go.
Number 77, who is not on my roster. What have you got for 77 on your roster for Ridge Spring? He's a big
For Ridge
man.
Springs or for
Ridge Spring. Big lineman.
Yeah, that's Javon Morris, a freshman.
Yeah, he's a nice-sized young man. All right.
Sullivan on the carry, be 3rd down and 6 for the Trojans.
So 3rd down, 5 yards as he picks up the 2 yards he lost to the 33-yard line. So 3rd down.
And there is one of those equipment problems. Number 12 out, number 16 on for him.
3 split wide to the left, 1 to the right. Be apart, back to pass. Throws short this time and a little bit wide. Nice effort that time by number 10, which is Jeremiah Bonham. Check that. I don't have a number 10 on my roster either for Ridge Spring. Who's number 10?
Ridge Spring, Johnny Middlebrooks. He's a senior wide receiver.
It's like Max Preps. Missed a couple.
Or they've switched him.
So 4th down, punting unit comes on. They'll try to keep Wagner down at this end of the field.
We've seen 1 block punt, and there's that. We've had a couple of kind of poor snaps.
And that's going to work great, as that's going to be down inside the 15-yard line.
Ball goes out on the 14-yard line.
And that's good strategy. Kick it out of bounds, no return. Pin him back inside the 15. That's not bad at all.
43 seconds left to go here in the first quarter. No score. Neither team mounting much of an offense, both playing very well on defense. And pretty much what we expected coming in.
I really expected to see a little more offense out of Wagener-Salley. We hadn't seen them so far this year, and they've been putting so many points on the board. I thought they would be able to move it a little bit, but Ridge Spring is playing really solid defense. I remember last year they finished up the season with 4 or 5 shutouts in a row. Looks like they're capable of shutting people out this year also.
Turns it inside, going to make yardage. I believe that was Landy.
Aiken Cherry and Brendan Frazier on the tackle. 2nd and 3 for the Warriors.
One of the captains for the Trojans, Brendan Frazier, helped make that last tackle.
This time Barnes, they're going to run it right at Ridge Spring, which I think is probably a good idea. They seem to have some speed. And with that picks up a first down as they move the chains just over the 30-yard line. Chandler Law Firm 1st and 10, and that's our final play of the first quarter. That one went pretty quick. We'll take a break and flip the ends of the field. No score here at Ridge Spring-Monetta in their battle with Wagener-Salley.
I had back issues for a while. I kept going back with different complaints. My doctor, he said, surgery's not going to do you any good. So I would recommend to you therapy. After therapy, I'm a lot better. I'm so grateful for that. I'm a lot better. Thanks to Aiken Regional Hospital for the joy that was put back into my life. Now I'm able to get on the floor and play with the children. And it's just a relief.
We're back just in time to hear AC/DC bring us into the second quarter. We've got no score. And this reminds me of another reliever. When Smoltz would come in for the Braves, and when he was in his relieving stint, they would play Thunderstruck. All right, we're ready to go. We'll have to go home, and we'll listen to that in the car on the way home.
All right.
Wagener-Salley opens the second quarter with the ball. They picked up a first down. They stay on this track of hitting the middle of Ridge Spring, running in this field it's east-west, but we would refer to it as north-south.
2nd and 8 for the Warriors.
They've not had much success, has either team, running wide.
Good pursuit by both defenses, no question about it. Primarily a ground war so far for both teams. Couple passes been tried, but not really effective yet.
Very tight formation. Now they come wide. Looks for a seam. Gets over the 35 to the 37-yard line. Barnes once again carries the load. He's going to pick up about 5 yards. It's going to be 3rd down and 4 for the War Eagles.
And a pretty good defensive reaction by Ridge Spring. There were some blockers in front of that ball carrier, and they just stood their ground. He got a few, but not a big game.
Again, a very tight formation. One receiver wide to the right. And they get some movement up front. That's going to be a procedure against Wagener. 5-yard walk-off.
Looks like it.
So it'll bring up 3rd down and 9 after the 5-yard penalty.
Quarterback Landy just a little frustrated there by that penalty. With all the points they've been putting on the board so far this year, I imagine they're getting a little frustrated not being able to move the football effectively.
And they were capable of getting to 4 yards. They've moved it on this drive, but 9 yards is a different story. Let's see what they do. Bring a man in motion, fake the handoff, gonna look down the field, got a man on the fly, got good defense there with him. Makes a great catch.
Wow.
Wagener-Salley, that's A.J. Swedenberg. That's his 7th catch of the season. He had 128 yards coming into this game.
That was phenomenal catch. I hope we can see that. Watch how long he stays in the air. That's amazing.
That's a great catch.
That is a terrific catch.
So they flip the field. The ball's at the 37-yard line. Chandler Law Firm 1st and 10. Swedenberg, the leading receiver for Wagner. And there's Barnes. Barnes going to get outside, turns it in and goes out of bounds after about a 6-yard gain. Bring a 2nd down and 4. But Swedenberg, the leading receiver, only with 6 receptions coming in and 128 yards. That tells you Wagner doesn't throw the ball that often.
They do not. Tell you what, their running back's got some quicks, doesn't he?
He does.
He can move.
Yeah, push up the field. This will be close to a 1st down if they ever call him down.
Yeah, they got to blow the whistle, you know. Fans a little bit upset. It looks like the running back from Wagener-Salley has taken off before the snap. Hasn't been called for it.
So the gain was 3 yards. 3rd down and 1 coming up. Actually, they're going to call timeout and bring the chains out to see if he picked up the 1st down. They're inside the 30-yard line. This is Wagner's deepest penetration of the game. This is the first time they've crossed into Rich Spring territory.
Yeah, it looks like they might have it.
They stretch the chain. Seems like it keeps going a little further. They're a little short. Oh, no. He says they did pick it up. Right at it. So another 1st down for Wagener-Salley. And they're in business. Looks like the ball is spotted at the 26-yard line. Chandler Law Firm 1st and 10.
Big difference from last week. The formation that Wagener-Salley is in much, much tighter than anything we saw last week. They're really bunched in there, as you said.
Ooh, met in the hole.
Yes, he was.
That looked like that was going to be a big game, but Frazier comes up and sticks Barnes. And it's interesting the way they're running this offense. The quarterback is actually Landy, but Landy was leading the blocking, I believe, on that particular play. Yeah, he was leading Barnes through the hole. He missed Frazier as he went by. Well, there's a little bit of a trick play, and they having a hard time bringing down. Not sure who had the ball. We'll have to look at the
I hope we can see that on replay.
Ophthalmology replay, because that was a heck of a play.
That's a little trickery there. Let's see what they got.
They had an up back who was right behind the guard.
First down, Wagner. The ball's about the 5-yard line.
It goes all the way to the 5. Still don't know. Didn't catch the number.
I'm not quite sure how they ran that play. But,
I'm going to guess it's 42. 42 is Ryan.
Yep. He's the one right there.
And outside, he's got some blockers. Gets to the edge. Oh, he's pulled down from behind. I think somebody's mouthpiece went flying. Barnes is going to have to go out.
Yeah, he'll have to go out for play, and asking one of his players to give him a little better block, I think.
Well, that came from behind.
Yeah.
7:57 left to go here in the second quarter. Wagener-Salley knocking on the door for the first time tonight. No score, but Wagener-Salley looking to change that now. Oh, gets outside. He's going to take it in. Touchdown. And that was number 6, Kevin Jackson
Kevin
Jr.
Jackson. And the play was supposed to go, designed to go up the middle. There was nothing there, and Jackson made a nice move. Good vision, broke it to the outside. Nobody left. They had everything jammed up inside. Walks in untouched.
And he was in for Barnes because of his helmet being off. So Jackson puts Wagner on the board. The first team tonight to score, 6-0. Extra point coming up. Let's see. That's an interesting formation. They're going to run a 2-point conversion here out of this. They got a man in the end zone by himself. Barnes threw the pass. Eyes complete. 2-point conversion was good. How about that play, Coach?
I'll tell you what, they brought out the back of the playbook for those two things, didn't they? Okay. And number 10 on the reception. Okay, that's Jeremiah Bynum.
All right, let's take a look at the Aiken ophthalmology replay and see the touchdown. Then we'll follow that with the 2-point conversion.
Nice move right there by Jackson.
Good eyes.
Yes, indeed.
And the 2-point conversion.
No, nobody there.
And I assume that was the center who snapped the ball. That went pretty quick, but I think the center went out for the pass as he was at the end.
J.R. Tyler said deep for the Trojans.
We'll have to go back and look at that and analyze it.
Yeah, I'd like to see that one again.
Because I believe
pretty slick
that Bynum snapped it back and then ran out on the pass. But we're going to stay here. Here comes the kick. Nails that down the field. Fielded at the 10. It's outside. Got one man to get around the corner. He does. Comes back inside.
That's quite a run. Quite a run.
His nickname could be Pinball.
Excellent.
Tyler returns it. There is a flag on the field behind him. And when they start running around like that, generally blocks in the back, holes come out. And blocking the back is the call against.
Oh, yeah, you can see that one right there. Good call by the refs. Let's see if we can get that extra point thrown up there one more time. Let's see if we can.
And pause it so that we can see
get everybody.
Who the center is. Yeah, that's got to be the center because he's the only man up there. That went pretty quick. But the center snapped it.
That's Jeremiah Bynum, that's for sure.
And Bynum, yeah, he went out for the pass. What a trick play.
And Nathan Chandler is the one that threw the ball, okay, and he is listed as a quarterback. He's only a sophomore. Pretty slick.
I thought it was Barnes, number 2. But anyway.
It was 12, I think.
All right, so we've got Rich Spring after the 10-yard walk-off down inside the 20-yard line. Chandler Law Firm 1st and 10. They may have picked up a yard on that play. 2nd down and 9.
J.R. Tyler on the carry will be 2nd down and 8.
So Wagener-Salley, the one team to get into the Tyler Tire end zone so far tonight. Rich Springs has 79 yards to go to make it to the end zone at the other end of the Tyler Tire end zones. 6:50 left till halftime. Reverses field and looked like he was going to go, but they trip him up. He's going to gain about 3 yards, it looks like. So it's up to the 24-yard line.
It's a flag down. J.R. Tyler on the carry.
Another flag.
We've had a number of penalties, haven't we?
We have had. They're going to call a sideline warning against Wagener.
Sideline infraction against the War Eagle.
So that'll be a warning No penalty.
No, that's going to be a penalty.
They're actually going to call it a penalty.
Yeah.
How about that?
That's not a warning. That's a penalty.
Usually they give them at least one. Maybe they've already warned them once and didn't tell us.
Could be.
But that's going to keep it at second down, about 1.5 yards for a first down. So a good break for Rich Spring. And it is easy on these sidelines to get outside of the marker that tells you what to do. Now the referee going to go over and probably explain it to the coach.
Yep. It looks like Willie Fox wants to know what the call was.
And they did add 5 yards to the end of the run because it was second down and 9.
Doesn't look like he's very happy with the explanation. Always like it when somebody's got, one of the players has to pat the coach on the shoulder and say, "It's all right, take it easy. We're under control here."
Let's see if Rich Spring can get this first down. Coming outside, looking for a gap, shoots. Oh, he goes, reverses field. Oh, stays on his feet. Nice run, gonna cross the 45. Ooh, another hit. Got to wrap it up over the 50. What a run from Rich Spring to the 46 of Wagener-Salley. And I believe that was number 8 for Rich Spring, Jerry Tyler.
That's Jerry Tyler.
And one of the problems, Wagener-Salley came in and he gave him a forearm shiver, and Tyler was not going down, and now the crowd is fired up.
And Tyler has got them all fired up. He's coming over, getting on them. "Let's go," he says.
Woo! He turned back inside, and one of the Wagener players hit him. Instead of wrapping him up and tackling him, tried to knock him down. To Tyler's credit, he just kept on going. All right, 2 split wide to the left. They come back to the right. Ducks his head, crosses the 45 to the 44.
On the carry. Second and 8 for the trophy.
So Sullivan picks up a yard, second down and 9.
That's Collier Sullivan. We've got a Colby Sullivan and a Collier Sullivan. Okay, that was Collier, number 2, junior running back.
He's had a good year, 744 yards. Now going to go outside, turn it in. So he's pretty much running a wildcat. Well,
Yeah, that's exactly right. The quarterback is not in the ball game right now. It's Collier, and he's trying to take over a little bit here, doing it very successfully, running hard.
There's a timeout on the field. War Eagles call a timeout. It'll be third down and 1.5 yards. We'll take a break and be right back.
It all started at one family night in Dumfries, Virginia. Family night is for everybody. It's a time for families to do crafts together.
The kids just love going to Chick-fil-A for dinner. Being the single mom and getting everybody ready, it was tough. We would get there a little bit late, like on the tail end of it. Helen saw that I was having trouble getting them to Chick-fil-A for the family night on time and actually got it extended another hour. Noticing things like that. I never really told her how much she affected me, but she did.
Love you.
All right, Rich Spring having their first sustained drive of the game. They blocked a punt earlier and had better field position than this as they were down around the 25-yard line. They brought this down the field from their own 20-yard line to move into War Eagle territory at the 38-yard line. And they need 1.5 yards for a first down. Third down. Gonna run to his right. Slows down, speeds up, turns inside. Good run, gets the first down to the 34-yard line. Collier Sullivan running tough.
doing a nice job getting some good blocking out of his blocking back also, Weston Williams. Both teams really tough right now. Running backs are running hard. Defense is playing tough.
They mark him down at the 33-yard line. Chandler Law Firm 1st and 10. Wide side to the left. Goes right through the middle. Finds a seam. Going to go inside the 25 to the 22-yard line. They'll move the chains again. Chandler Law Firm 1st and 10.
That moves the chains for another Trojan first down.
Rich Spring got the crowd behind them now.
They sure do. We've got both Tyler and Collier back in the ball game again now. Tyler took a little break after that one run he had where he got hit about 16 times.
Tyler walks up trying to point out that they did something to make our people jump. They're going to have a discussion, and the penalty is going to go against Wagner. And you did see Wagner creeping up on the play, and I think that's what made him jump, made Rich Spring jump. It was not over the line of scrimmage. So 5-yard walk-off, still first down, 1st and 15. All right, here comes Sullivan. Not gonna make
man.
The edge this time. Nice tackle over there. There's Bynum, wasn't it? May have lost a yard.
I think he did, and it looked like he was going to make a big gain there, but that was a nice defensive play. And it may have been Swedenberg that came up and made that tackle.
It's a good tackle. I'm going to say no gain as he got knocked down the line of scrimmage. 2nd down and 15. So Rich Spring going to call a timeout as they want to talk about the next play. They're 2nd and long. They'll talk about it. We'll come back, find out what they decided to do when we return.
I knew he was in trouble. I didn't really know that it was a heart attack, but I knew he was in trouble. His right coronary artery was 99% blocked and already collapsed.
So within 10 minutes, they had put a stent in.
I'm so glad that we made that decision to go to Aiken Regional right away.
We definitely made the right decision in going to Aiken Regional.
I don't think we could have gotten better care.
Uses, I believe, their 2nd timeout. I believe they have one more left.
I think that's a good timeout. They're in a good position to put some points on the board. Got plenty of time left here in the first half. They don't want to come away empty here, though.
They were having a lot of success with Collier Sullivan running the football, but the 5-yard penalty put them back, and his first play was cut down for no gain. So trailing 8-0, Rich Spring trying to get back in this ball game. Wagener-Salley sets. Looks like he's going to try to pass. Now he's going to run. Oh, makes a nice move, slides inside the 25 down to the 21. So he gained the 5-yard loss back plus a couple more. And it's going to be 3rd and still long, but a lot better than 15. It'll be more like 8.
Tyler, the ball carrier that time. I'll tell you what, both these runners are doing a really nice job. They are tough to grab.
3rd and 8 for the Trojans.
They struggled in the opening first quarter.
Nice move again. Tyler's tough. He's tough to bring down.
All right, it is 3rd down and 8. And I think this is going to be one of your
Freeman, Tyler, Collier, all in the backfield this time.
That was an equipment timeout.
Yeah.
And we can hear the coaches. Not going to throw back. Makes a man miss. Now he's got an open lane. He's going to go inside the 20 to the 15, out of bounds. Probably around the 14-yard line. Interesting to hear the coaches up above us.
And Tyler wants to run the ball. He wants to then be the referee. He wants to explain all the rules to everybody. Wants to mark the ball for him.
Well, there's a flag, so they're going to bring this back, I do believe. Holding against Ridge Spring is the call. That's a tough one. That's going to make it probably 3rd and 18. Now, they've shown that they can throw the ball a little bit. They haven't completed a pass yet. So 3rd down and 18.
Penalties have hurt both teams tonight. They've had big plays brought back.
Ball all the way back to the 31.
And in comes their quarterback now. That would lead you to think that they're going to throw the football. Remy Liepart in the ball game.
Going to throw. He's got a man.
Oh, he's got him. Oh,
just overshoot him a little bit. So that'll bring up 4th down.
And Liepart is not a very big kid. And as I've said before, he's a freshman. They've got a number of freshmen on this Ridge Spring squad. He threw that ball very well, just a little too well. Okay, a little too long. Had a receiver open. Looks like they'll keep him in and take another shot at it, looks like.
1:52 left to go here in the 2nd quarter. They got the call, and they head out. 2 split wide to the right, 2 to the left. Ridge Spring has gone long in this. They're going long again. Got a man. Oh, did he make it? No. What a throw.
Wow.
And that was one that you really thought he was going to be able to haul that in. That's tough for Ridge Spring.
I'll tell you what, that looked like that could have been caught.
It was a nice effort. He still had to stretch out for it.
Yep.
And
they've had 2 like that.
When you're stretched out and you're coming down, the ground gets awfully hard when you're trying to catch it. So 1:46 left here in the first half. Wagener-Salley. Let's see if they try to get this down the field quickly. They're going to throw a pass. It's another jump ball. Oh, couldn't bring it in.
That was Swedenberg again, what?
Swedenberg's got the hops.
I'll tell you what, he hangs in the air a long time.
And it looked like Ridge Spring was in position to make the interception.
The defender was right there.
So that stops the clock with 1:40. Let's see if Wagner decides to run the football here. They've still got the quarterback, single back formation. Oh, to the up back again. Fullback. They had a hard time bringing him back down last time, but they will bring him down this time.
Now we know that he did that play that broke it earlier in the ball game. Direct snap to the up back. Oh, I can't. Now wait a minute. Yeah, I was going to say they're going to mark that way up. His forward progress was
halfway
10 yards further up the field.
Yeah, he got 6 yards. 3rd down and 4 coming up. But Argo's a handful. timeout. Wagener going to call a timeout. 1:16 left to go until halftime. We'll keep it here. And 3rd and 4, I would guess they're going to run the ball. If Rich Spring wants to call and use their last timeout, that's fine. What would you do here, Coach?
Well, I think you're probably right. I think they'll run it. I was kind of surprised they. I don't mind it. I think it's kind of a neat call that they tried to score there with that long pass to Swedenberg. The one thing I would not like to see is for us to have to get back in punt formation. They've had trouble doing that. Ridge Spring, I think, would come after them with everything they've got, and we've seen one blocked already. We've seen a couple other near misses.
Well, we've seen that fullback dive work for good yardage. Got 6 yards on the first time. Well, the first time they scored a touchdown on it, and I believe that was from a little further out. No, they didn't score a touchdown on that play, but
he
they
took them down to the 2-yard line.
Got them first down. It was about 15 yards. So let's see if they line up with that. They got Landy in the backfield by himself. In front of him is Bynum. So that's not the big fullback. He's going to follow Bynum, gets a block, turns inside, gets the first
nice
down.
run. Nice run.
Now, I believe Wagener is out of timeouts.
Good play by Wagener-Salley.
Clock stops for the first down. Channel off from 1st and 10 from the 46-yard line. And they start the clock. They're not running the clock. Now they're running it. Back to pass. Oh, he's going to be sacked. Landry stepped up to throw and was hit in the face. Big loss. And clock will run.
And Trey Dean, number 44. Great pressure, nice tackle.
Ball's backed up to the 37. So it'll bring up 2nd down and 18. Bring another man in motion. Gonna hand off. Jet sweep. Not going anywhere. Tackled at the 41-yard line. So it'll bring up 3rd down and long, but the clock's going to run out. That'll be the end of the first half. And it was a quick first half. A lot of rushing of the football. Wagener-Salley gets the best of it. They get the sustained drive, the big play, the jump ball to Swedenberg, made the catch. And Wagener able to take it in the rest of the way. They lead 8-0 here at the half. That doesn't include the really nice 2-point conversion on the pass to the center. Something we have not seen lately.
No, they brought out a couple of plays from deep in the playbook. Both of them work. You got to give them credit. Pretty slick. And I also give credit to Trey Dean there. Last couple plays on defense for Ridge Spring. He was all over the field, made 2 great tackles. Very, very tough, aggressive football player.
It's a defensive struggle, which we pretty much expected. We knew both teams coming in would be good defensively. Our question was, would Ridge Spring's defense be able to withstand Wagener? I'd say so far so good.
I think they've done a great job against them so far. Okay, you take away, like you said, that great catch by Swedenberg and the trick play, it's not really a trick play, but it's something you don't see all the time, a direct snap to the fullback, which got them down to the goal line. Once they ran it in, then the trick play with the extra point. So they had a couple of things that are a little unusual. They both worked. More power to them. But other than that, Ridge Spring has really defended them quite well.
They just brought on a trailer, a drummer, and a keyboard player. And when you see that, you know this ought to be a pretty good halftime show.
It's going to be halftime, and I believe we're going to probably see princesses and a queen or something like that. We've seen that the last couple of weeks.
That's true. Well, I don't know if it's homecoming. It is senior night, though. We'll take a break, and we'll come back and enjoy our halftime show here at Spring-Monetta They're on the short end of the stick with Wagener-Salley here at the half, 8-0. We'll take a break and we'll be back in the Aiken Standard Game of the Week.
You can't always be there to protect her down the road. Make sure the tire she's riding on will. With the revolutionary Michelin Premier tire, even when half worn, it's still safe, thanks to EverGrip technology. The Michelin Premier tire, safe when new, safe when worn.
I had back issues for a while. I kept going back with different complaints. My doctor, he said, surgery's not going to do you any good. So I would recommend to you therapy. After therapy, I'm a lot better. I'm so grateful for that. I'm a lot better. Thanks to Aiken Regional Hospital for the joy that was put back into my life. Now I'm able to get on the floor and play with the children. And it's just a relief.
It all started that one family night in Dumfries, Virginia. Family night is for everybody. It's a time for families to do crafts together.
The kids just love going to Chick-fil-A for dinner. Being the single mom and getting everybody ready, it was tough. We would get there a little bit late, like on the tail end of it. Helen saw that I was having trouble getting them to Chick-fil-A for the family night on time and actually got it extended another hour. Noticing things like that, I never really told her how much she affected me, but she did.
Love you.
Welcome back. It's halftime here on the campus of Spring-Monetta High School. Wagener-Salley leads 8-0. And we're about to be entertained by the Ridge Spring Marching Band. And this brings back memories of last week when we were marched on by the Williston Elko band as they marched out on the field and line, and we were doing the pregame show. At any rate, looks like we're going to have a good entertainment here at halftime, and let's go down to the field and enjoy it. High School marching band with a tribute to ABBA. And now Ken Brace will give us a review of the movie Mamma Mia.
Mamma Mia. Well,
have you seen Mamma Mia?
Oh, sure. I've seen Mamma Mia.
Have you seen both of them?
No, I haven't seen the sequel to it, no.
Okay, well, I watched the first one on Netflix because I had to go to the second one. The Aiken Board of Realtors had a night to the movies, and for whatever reason, we were going to see Mamma Mia 2, and my wife said we can't go see that without watching the first one. And I wasn't terribly impressed with the first one with Pierce Brosnan and singing songs, which was not the right thing. But the second one was actually fascinating that they were able to put that thing together and make it work.
Well, I think the women didn't care whether Pierce Brosnan was singing or not.
I'm a big ABBA fan, so I can't say that I wasn't. I played a lot of the ABBA music. All right, they were good. I enjoyed the drummer. They had a little drum kit out there on the trailer, and the keyboard player was playing bass, actually. And, so they had a bass part for him and the drummer, and the band played. They weren't big, but that was very enjoyable, sitting here in the stands listening to it.
They did a nice job. Nice job. Fun.
And now we're entertaining you with a little Bruno Mars in the back. And Ken's a big Bruno Mars fan, aren't you?
Big fan of who?
Bruno Mars.
I'll tell you, my sons and their wives are big fans of Bruno Mars, more than me. But he's good. He's good. I like him.
He's great. He's great. He's quite a talented kid. And I enjoy his music and played a lot of this stuff too. All right, since we're showing that this is the extra point play, and if we can get them to run that again.
Pretty slick. Pretty slick. I like it.
Stop it at the beginning. But this is maybe the touchdown. Yeah, this is the touchdown.
Yeah.
All right, there's number 10. He snapped the ball, and you're right, it is number 12.
Yep.
That throws the pass. Number 2's right there next to him.
He's the backup quarterback. He's the sophomore quarterback, I believe, Chandler. All right. And I'll tell you what, he was so wide open, he almost overthrew him.
He almost did. Well, he had Barnes backing up into him.
But that's a nice catch by Bynum. That's a pretty play. Pretty play.
He had plenty of room to get his feet down, so that was the highlight of, well, the touchdown was good too, but the two-point conversion of running that play with the end being the center as everybody else split wide to the left, which you couldn't see in that picture, and snap it, and so he went out on a pass. Well, that happens all the time. You practice that, don't you? Did you ever practice that play?
We practiced some similar stuff to that. We really did. I mean, we had a couple of nice packages.
I'd love to see that. South Aiken doing what I said they would.
17-7 over North Augusta. That must be a halftime score, we would assume.
I would assume it's a halftime score, and still a lot of game left to go there. But it's a little surprising. South Aiken with 17 points. But North Augusta certainly, with Tanner White, if he starts running the football and getting a few passes, no surprise there. BC got a good football team, up 21-0 over Midland Valley.
Yeah, that's not a surprise. And Midland's going through one of those seasons that you hate to see for anybody. And it looks like they'll be still without a win going into the last couple games of the year. Strom Thurmond, happy to see that. Gilbert, we both said it would be a kind of tough game for them tonight. Gilbert beat them by a touchdown last year. Strom Thurmond ahead 12-0 at the half. Like to see that.
Yeah, and Strom Thurmond struggling on offense. Good to see him get on it. This isn't a surprise. Abbeville is one of the best teams in the state in their division.
Yeah.
And up 29-0 on Silver Bluff.
I talked to a huge Silver Bluff fan and somebody that helps out with the school and everything, and he said that they were not too confident going in, and this doesn't surprise us either. Saluda 27-0 over Fox Creek so far.
Now, Fox Creek had some success early in the season, and we said then that when we did their game over in North Augusta that they would be facing some tough teams, Abbeville, now Saluda, and Crestland.
Yeah.
And
now there's Williston Elko 39-0, and that was not unexpected, and that's got to make that team feel better, okay? And poor North, I mean, they take it on the chin week after week, and they've done so for the last couple of years. That's got to be very, very difficult, very tough.
I would think so, too. And, of course, our score here at the half, Wagener-Salley up on Spring-Monetta 8-0. And Spring had a little bit of luck there in the second quarter after the touchdown by Wagener-Salley. We saw some tough running from Tyler. Got them down the field. They got down inside the 25. Had a touchdown pass go off the wide receiver's hands. He couldn't haul it in. It was a tough catch.
Yeah,
but
they had a couple passes that were
in the area. Yeah.
In the area. I mean, the receiver did touch the football both times, but couldn't quite bring them in. And that is the difference in the ball game.
Yes, and you'd like to see now who got the ball first. Rich Spring did. So Wagener-Salley's going to get the ball first.
And there's Aiken, and of course it's still a tight ball game with Airport, but Aiken is still playing well. And for a while I said they were the best no-win team in the area, and I think they're proving that. And once again, I will say, if they keep improving defensively, they're going to be a tough out for anybody in the playoffs.
Well, the thing about Aiken, they had the game that was canceled was against Lakeside. They probably had a fairly decent chance of beating them at home at Aiken. Yeah. They were supposed to do that game. And then they lose by 1 to South Aiken, which had to be a heartbreaker. But they bounced back last week, get the win over Midland Valley. And like I said, the monkey's off their back. They've got a chance to win tonight and get a 2-game win streak. It's modest, but after you didn't win a game all year, 2 wins got to seem like a lot.
And they're not done yet.
And they're not done yet, exactly. All right, we're at halftime. Wagener-Salley up 8-0 on Rich Spring. We're running along pretty quick. We're going to get the second half started about 9 o'clock.
Yeah, that's unusual.
Yeah. All right, let's take a break, and when we come back, we'll get ready for the second half kickoff. You're watching the Aiken Standard Game of the Week.
I knew he was in trouble. I didn't really know that it was a heart attack, but I knew he was in trouble. His right coronary artery was 99% blocked and already collapsed.
So within 10 minutes, they had put a stent in.
I'm so glad that we made that decision to go to Aiken Regional right away.
We definitely made the right decision in going to Aiken Regional.
I don't think we could have gotten better care.
You can't always be there to protect her down the road. Make sure the tire she's riding on will. With the revolutionary Michelin Premier tire, even when half worn, it's still safe, thanks to EverGrip technology. The Michelin Premier tire, safe when new, safe when worn.
I had back issues for a while. I kept going back with different complaints. My doctor, he said, surgery's not going to do you any good. So I would recommend to you therapy. After therapy, I'm a lot better. I'm so grateful for that. I'm a lot better. Thanks to Aiken Regional Hospital for the joy that was put back into my life. Now I'm able to get on the floor and play with the children. And it's just a relief.
It all started that one family night in Dumfries, Virginia. Family night is for everybody. It's a time for families to do crafts together.
The kids just love going to Chick-fil-A for dinner. Being the single mom and getting everybody ready, it was tough. We would get there a little bit late, like on the tail end of it. Helen saw that I was having trouble getting them to Chick-fil-A for the family night on time and actually got it extended another hour. Noticing things like that, I never really told her how much she affected me, but she did.
Love you.
Move. Move.
We're back at Walter J. Davis Stadium here on the campus of Rich Spring-Monetta High School, where Wagener-Salley has traveled up Highway 39 and they lead 8-0 over the home team, Rich Spring. And we wanted to get you back in time to hear the end of AC/DC. We knew you were all sitting out there going, please come back. And since we're enjoying it, you get to enjoy it too. Both teams have gone through their second half calisthenics. They're warmed up, and I think we're about ready to go. And it is a beautiful night for football.
And it's crisp for the first time. This is the first time I've needed a little light jacket for the evening. The other ball games, I was looking for an air conditioner. Okay, this is good.
Well, we did that first game. The opening game was Greenwood at South Aiken, and oh, thank goodness. And Ridge Spring, I can hear myself. Ridge Spring. That first game with South Aiken, and way back in August, wasn't bad at all. And the next week was even better when we were at North Augusta. And I told you then there'd be makeup for this later.
There would be makeup.
And it was, I didn't know it'd go the entire month of September and then into October. But finally, it's here. Just took a hurricane to blow it in. I don't know that we needed all of that. But fortunately, at least here in the Aiken area, we seemed to come through it okay. There was some people who had to do without power. I know that was inconvenient, but our thoughts and prayers are with the folks down there in Florida. That's
very fortunate. And I saw a stat this afternoon that surprised me. They were talking about, unfortunately, those people that were killed by the storm. And the state that had the most people killed in this particular storm was Virginia.
I think that was early on, before they finally started getting into the Mexico beach, that place, they got wiped off the map. They're still looking for people down there today, and the numbers went up to 12, I believe. There was
is that right?
There was 5 in Virginia that were,
that's right.
were killed. So we thinking about the families that are going through all of that, and hopefully everybody here has their power back on. All right, power's working here. Lights are on, and we start the second half, and we start it with a flag. I guess we should have expected it. Offsides, legal procedure is the same thing. All right, so that'll be a 5-yard walk-off, and that'll help Wagener-Salley a little bit more in this as they try to get some field position. Get started here in the second half and extend their lead of 8-0. All right, take 2.
Brendan Frazier kicking off, I believe.
And Bynum going to catch that. That's a good job of getting back and catching that and running hard. He's going to get short of midfield, but he'll be out of bounds at the 48-yard line. Chandler Law Firm, 1st and 10 for Wagener-Salley. And that's excellent. So many times you see people not be able to feel that kick on the short kick. He got back, fielded it, and turned it upfield and just ran straight ahead and got yardage.
And that's great field position to start the ball game here in the second half.
All right, once again, you have to watch that up back. They run from the shotgun, but they can snap it to the up back, the fullback, which is Argro. So they do. They go to their feature back, Sullivan. He comes, he's still on his feet. Good balance. Oh, he's tripped up, but he's down just short of the 20-yard line, 21. That's a gain of 31 yards.
And I believe that was Daniel Harris, number 82, with a touchdown saving tackle.
And I believe that may be
Daniel Harris on the tackle. Got a man down.
And that is Barnes. It's down.
Yeah, I was going to say, I believe it's Barnes.
He made a great run. He had to catch his balance there for a little bit, was able to do that, broke free, and just had a saving tackle by Harris, or he'd have been in the end zone.
And he got tripped up. He went down. He got back up and apparently fell down on his way over to the sideline. So we've got an Aiken Regional Medical Center timeout on the field as they help him to his feet.
And that's good to see him up.
He looks like he'll be all right. That was a heck of a run to keep his balance. So the last time he went out, he was replaced by number 6, which is Kevin Jackson. Kevin Jackson scored a touchdown. Let's see what they do here. Going to run it to the left side. And that is Jackson. but he spun down. May have lost a yard on the play.
Nice tackle by number 22, Dantrell Weaver.
Second down and 12.
He lost 2 on the play. Second down, 12. Wagener runs this compact offense. They split a man wide to the right and bring everybody in tight. 2 tight ends. And this is Jackson. Jackson going to throw it. That's a little shuttle pass, and that's going to score.
And Landy is the receiver.
Landy caught the pass. And let's see, there may be a flag. There is a flag on the play. And that'll be a shame to call it off, because that's another nice play. We were impressed with their 2-point conversion. That one was an unexpected throw. Holding against Wagener-Salley. That's going to nullify the touchdown. And he'll walk it off 10 yards.
As well executed, except for the hold, obviously.
And the hole was downfield. They're still going to gain yardage on the play. It'll remain second down and 10 yards. So they pick up 2 yards on the penalty, as the holding was good ways downfield.
That was a well-run play. Faked a little reverse. Threw the ball to the quarterback. Pretty neat.
Barnes goes out of the game. His replacement runs it one time to the left and then back to the right and throws a pass for a touchdown that gets called back. And now this is Jackson getting over, and he slips down. So that's going to bring up third down. It'll be third and long. He may have gained a yard. We'll call it 3rd and 9.
No gain, be 3rd and 10.
So Wagener, both these teams, I don't know that either has a kicker that kicks field goals. So they bring everybody in tight.
And they're unbalanced to the left side here.
And as a reverse, tries to get inside. That was number 4, Denzel Kitchen. Kitchen goes down after a short gain. It'll bring up 4th down.
Reagan Cherry on the tackle.
Looks like they'll run Barnes back in.
Nice job by the Ridge Spring defense to stay in their positions, play their position, make good tackles. They had lots of people around the ball carrier. They were not fooled at all.
They do not have Barnes in. Swedenberg split wide to the right. That's their favorite receiver. Landy going to look that way. He stops. Did he catch it? Now they're going to say he caught it, but he may be short. He had to come back for it. And I believe he's going to be short of the 1st down.
And Landy had to rush that throw. He was hit just as he was throwing the football.
They're going to call for a measurement. So they'll bring the chains out, and we'll see if they turn it over on downs. If nothing else, they're going to be down inside the 15-yard line, I believe.
The last one that they measured tonight was a 1st down by about an inch. This one looks like it's going to be close too.
It's not.
But it goes the other way.
So they're short by half a yard. So 8:52 left to go in the 3rd quarter. Ridge Spring stops Wagener-Salley on downs. But they'll be at they say the ball's on the 18-yard line. Very difficult when it gets on either end of the field to see exactly where the ball is. Yeah, it's down at the 11. They changed the scoreboard. That was the pickup on the play was 7 yards. Chandler Law Firm, 1st and 10 from the 11. Ridge Spring will have to go 89 yards, and a 2-point conversion would tie the game, as they're backed up. There's a handoff into the pile. Breaks loose, though, and comes out, gets good yardage. It'll be second down and short.
Both of Ridge Spring's running backs, I'll tell you what, they are hard to bring down. They're slippery.
Give him 8 yards on the play, second down and 2. Another handoff, tries to get through the hole. Yeah, you're right. He's hard to bring down, but they're going to pop him down here. Short.
They break some tackles. Okay.
And they let them keep playing. I would have thought they would have.
Collier and Tyler both. Ooh.
Ball's at the 20. I think they're a yard short. Third down a yard. And you got to believe they'll give it to Sullivan and see if he can pick up this first down. Tried to get him to jump. Now fumbled it. Now picks it up off the ground. Going to lose yard. Oh, almost got away. Got back close to the line of scrimmage. But he's going to be a loss of a yard. It's going to bring up 4th down and 2. And the punting unit will come on the field.
And they were close to getting an offsides against Wagener-Salley, and that threw off the timing for Ridge Spring. Dropped the football and lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage.
You're exactly right. They were trying to get him to jump, and then that sort of threw them out of rhythm. Punt back there, looking like he was going to run. Now it's a rugby kick. It's going to hop. And this is Swedenberg. Oh, good tackle by Ridge Spring. He fielded it at 40. He goes down at the 40.
Oh, and he got stepped on. He was laying down, and not intentional, of course. The kids were just running by him, and somebody stepped right on him, and that could be tough right there.
Yeah, it looks like he's grabbing his knee. We got an Aiken Regional Medical Center timeout. We'll take a break.
And here it comes right here. We'll be able to see it.
Okay.
Down.
I think he's got a cramp.
No,
yeah, he's got a cramp. They're holding his leg up in the air like we saw.
Yeah, we've seen that before.
Last week, it was like every other play. So while we've got a player on the field, we'll take an Aiken Regional Medical Center timeout. We'll be right back.
I knew he was in trouble. I didn't really know that it was a heart attack, but I knew he was in trouble. His right coronary artery was 99% blocked and already collapsed.
So within 10 minutes, they had put a stent in.
I'm so glad that we made that decision to go to Aiken Regional right away.
We definitely made the right decision in going to Aiken Regional.
I don't think we could have gotten better care.
Welcome back. They help Swedenberg to his feet. Now they're going to carry him off. But again, after what we went through last week with the cramping with HKT.
They didn't have their rolling pin out there.
No.
Like last week, they had a rolling pin that they were using, and they must have used it 6 or 7 times in the 4th quarter.
I was talking to a guy with Williston talking about that they were doing it on purpose. I said, I don't think they were doing it on purpose. They didn't hydrate before the game. All right, Wagner's ready to go. Channel off from 1st and 10 from the 40-yard line. And here comes Sullivan. Sullivan's back in the game, and he goes for 15, still on his feet. He's going to be across the 45 into Trojan territory. Guess he got a rest and came back ready to go. And mark him at the 43. That's a pickup of 17 yards.
I had back issues for a while. I kept going back with different complaints.
So Wagner takes up right where they left off when Sullivan was hurt. Or Barnes, rather. Barnes.
Now, you know.
I get them confused.
They're not trying to tackle him. They're trying to grab the football there. They don't want him to go down on the ground. And as long as they keep moving, the referees are letting them play.
So Barnes hit down. Loses a couple yards on that, 44-yard line. They'll say his progress was to the 45, 2nd down and 12.
2nd and 12 for the War Eagles.
Let's see if they come back to this fullback dive. That's
yeah, they were doing it.
You could see him flinching. And that's going to be procedure, and I wonder if it's on Argo. He was flinching inside. It was like he's expecting to get the ball. 5-yard walk-off to the 50-yard line. 2nd down and 17. So we'll see if they come back to that or if they gave it away. Oh, good run. And here comes a flag in on the backside. I believe that's going to be holding.
Sullivan on the stop. That's a flag down.
And Rich Spring pointing the other way. And Rich Spring coach says he wants to decline the penalty, holding. And it's declined. So that'll bring up 3rd down.
3rd down for the War Eagles.
They picked up 2 yards on the play.
I think that's the right call.
3rd down and 15. So Landy, shotgun formation by himself. Drops back. Here comes the pressure. That could have been holding. They didn't call it. He dives. I believe he's out of bounds. Incomplete. And the defensive end came around fast, and he was grabbed.
I'll tell you what, he was like a shot on that one.
And he got grabbed, and nobody was looking at him to call the hold.
They certainly couldn't block him, that's for sure.
So 4th down brings up a punting situation for the War Eagles. So Ridge Spring drops back to receive it. And Wagener-Salley lines up.
And let's watch Trey Dean here on the right end again.
Gets that away. It's away from the receiver, and he's going to let it bounce and pick it up. And this is Tyler, isn't it? Makes a pretty good return against. That was Freeman. Freeman returns it to the 30-yard line. That's a little dangerous.
Well, that was a little slide too, wasn't it? He looked like he was just going to let the ball die. That he picked it up, and he fortunately had a man blocking for him.
It's actually spotted at the 25-yard line. So Chandler Law Firm 1st and 10. 4:36 left in the 3rd quarter. And just to show that this is a rivalry, one of the Wagner players, I believe it was number 4, Denzel Kitching, was looking here in the stands, pointing at the scoreboard. I don't think I'd start celebrating quite yet.
Yeah, there's a lot of time left to change things up here.
Two split wide to left, one to the right. Handoff. This is Sullivan. Sullivan's got some room. Makes some good moves. Not sure that he actually put his knee down, but he makes a nice run up to the 42-yard line. That's a pickup of about 13 yards. He shows some really good skills.
Sullivan has great balance. He's not the biggest running back by any means, but he's got great balance, good speed. Okay, very elusive, tough runner.
He gets positive yardage. But Bynum came in and tripped him, or else he was going to get another big run. Gain of 2, 2nd down and 8.
I was watching Sullivan warm up in between the halves and impressed by his athletic ability, even when he was just doing that. Moves very, very well.
Now they've got Wagner leaning forward, expecting this run.
Sullivan on the carry, 3rd down and 7 for the Trojans.
He picked up another yard, 3rd down and 7.
They bring Leapart back in. That usually means a pass.
Back to pass. He's looking downfield. Now throws short, unable to pull it in. Tyler is coming back to the ball, and it was a pretty decent pass. Couldn't come up with it, though. It was a little low.
Smart play by Tyler. Your quarterback's in trouble. You come back, you try to get back facing him so he can make the throw. He was under pressure, threw it on the run. They've been close, just haven't quite made the connections on the throws yet.
They gained some yards, give themselves some breathing room, try to pin Wagner back. Ball's at the 39. Gets the snap, kicks it away. It's going to the sidelines, going to roll. So that's going to be a great kick. That's going inside just short of the 10. We'll call the 11-yard line. So Wagner's backed up, but they lead in this game 8-0. 2:49 left to go in the 3rd quarter.
With the pressure that Ridge Spring can put on, and we saw it happen last week, I wouldn't be surprised to see Wagener-Salley lose a few yards here in the next couple of plays.
Well, they are a threat. They're deep threat on the passing game. Swedenberg went out with a cramp. Don't see whether or not he's coming back in.
Looks like he is. Yeah, number 3 is in the ball game.
So he's back. And they may try that jump ball again. He's over there in one-on-one coverage, and the safety is pulled around here to the right. No way he could get over that far. They're going to run, hit the hole hard. They're going to move the couple yards. Brings up 2nd down.
Straight in on the stop, be 2nd down and 9.
Okay, 1-yard pickup, 2nd down 9. Now he is going to go deep, step to the quarterback, and the safety did get over. Oh, did he catch that?
It looks like it.
They say he's out of bounds. I got a reaction from the crowd on the far side.
Yeah, they could not see the out of bounds.
What a catch. I think it ricocheted.
And they had double coverage there.
Well, the safety, I was saying I didn't think the safety could get over there. He got over there, but it ricocheted off the other defender, the cornerback, off the safety, back.
And the safety's very lucky. He went in front of the ball carrier instead of behind him, and that could have been disastrous. And he might have had a better chance to make the interception if he had stayed deep. If you can't get your hands on the ball, you better not go in front of that man.
That was interesting. What that tells you is the middle of the field would be wide open if you ran your tight end through the middle. Oh, Barnes hit hard. Looked like he was going to turn inside, maybe pick up the 1st down. He's going to be short.
And look who made that hit, Collier. Collier's been getting hit, and he was the hitter this time. Nice tackle.
It's up here, and he just pulls up and pops him, stands him up, and holds on. 4th down and 4.
I take that back. It wasn't Collier on the initial hit. He was just there to clean it up.
So punting unit on.
They blocked one tonight.
Ridge Spring sets up around the 45-yard line for the return. Gets it off. It's going to be short of the 50. Takes a little sideways bounce right at the 50-yard line. I think it hit his leg. So that'll end up being spotted at the 50-yard line. Ridge Spring gains a few yards on the exchange of the punts.
And it sure looked like Tyler wanted to go up and get that ball, didn't it?
Yep. If he'd been lined up at the 50, well, it actually landed around the 45-yard line. Might have been a little too deep under the circumstances. If he feels that, he's got a chance to go and make some damage. 1:08 left here in the third quarter. Ridge Spring now will see if they can move the football and at least get this thing tied up in the fourth quarter. Look for Sullivan. Terry, here's a jet sweep. And stop, now going to try to go back the other way, going to lose 6 yards on the play. Tyler tried to reverse fields, make something happen. Couldn't make it happen.
Jeremiah Bynum in on the tackle that time. He's been all over the field tonight.
On both sides. Made the catch on the 2-point conversion. They've been running to this right side with some success. Now they're going to look to pass. Runs to the right, stops, throws it downfield. Had a man, he stopped running, and it's incomplete. Again, ball hit him in the hands, unable to hold on to it. It had been a good catch to make that catch. Gives himself some
That play was well covered.
Oh yeah, it'd been a
throw it into a crowd.
And we've got another injured player taking a knee at the 35-yard line. Aiken Regional Medical Center timeout on the field.
I think that's Middlebrooks down there right at the moment, number 10.
And they're gonna work on his legs. So we got a timeout on the field. Aiken Regional Medical Center timeout. We'll be right back.
It all started that one family night in Dumfries, Virginia. Family night is for everybody. It's a time for families to do crafts together.
The kids just love going to Chick-fil-A for dinner. Being the single mom and getting everybody ready, it was tough. We would get there a little bit late, like on the tail end of it. Helen saw that I was having trouble getting them to Chick-fil-A for the family night on time and actually got it extended another hour. Noticing things like that, I never really told her how much she affected me, but she did.
Love you.
Move.
Middlebrook walked off the field on his own. He looks no worse the wear. Want to thank Julie Subs for the sub sandwiches tonight. They were excellent.
They were good. Enjoyed that.
They're located on Pine Log Road across from Kroger over on the south side of Aiken. We'll look for Julie's over in the shopping center at Staples. Tell them the game of the week sent you. All right, we got another player with a problem with the equipment. Thought he could throw it over to the side and be done. Nope. All right, Ridge Spring back to pass again. Steps up in the pocket, gonna run to his left. Bynum was coming up. Now it's caught. But was he over the line of scrimmage? He was. He was a good 2 or 3 yards past the third down marker.
That is a tough break.
And coach is going to argue that, but we look at it right there. He was right at the 45-yard line, and the ball was spotted at the 44. So he was over the line of scrimmage. So good call. tough call for Rich Spring. Finally completed a pass.
Yeah, and I'll give the referees credit there. Okay, they talked about it for just a second before they threw the flag, made sure that they were correct, and they got it right.
He had both feet up on the 45-yard line, and that crossed the line of scrimmage.
But that is a tough break for Rich Spring because the kid made a nice play to get away from the pressure and then threw it very well. Nice reception. All for naught.
Yeah, because it's a 5-yard walk-off, but it's a loss of down. So it's 4th down. The punting unit will come back on with 7.1 seconds left to go in the 3rd quarter. Pop up back there, and he runs. He's going to have to kick it. Ooh, that was close. Oh, that fumble, it is recovered by Rich Spring. Swedenberg tried to pick it up and run, and finally somebody's burned on doing that tonight. We've seen that several times, and the buzzer goes off at the end of the 3rd quarter. Swedenberg unable to handle it. Rich Spring has recovered it, and they're in business with the 4th quarter still to play. And Coach?
I'll tell you what, that play, the snap was not particularly good. Looked like the punter was going to get the kick blocked. He gets it away. Looks like it's just going to roll dead. Receiver touches the ball. Ridge Spring gets it back. That's a lot of action for one play.
A lot went on that play. We've got a lot left here. We've got a 4th quarter to go.
4th quarter coming.
We'll take a break. We'll be right back for the start of the 4th quarter on the Aiken Standard Game of the Week.
I knew he was in trouble. I didn't really know that it was a heart attack, but I knew he was in trouble. His right coronary artery was 99% blocked and already collapsed.
So within 10 minutes, they had put a stent in.
I'm so glad that we made that decision to go to Aiken Regional right away.
We definitely made the right decision in going to Aiken Regional.
I don't think we could have gotten better care.
All right, the home crowd doing the YMCA. And that's always a good one because touchdown on the Y. And that's what they want to do. They want to do that without the music playing and see if they can tie this game up. They trail Wagner 8-0, does Ridge Spring, here on their home field senior night for the Trojans. The ball spotted at the 21-yard line. And, whew, thank goodness. We are right under the cabinet for that. All right, handoff, little hole there. Works through it, going to get a couple yards. Bring up 2nd down. Looks like he's going to pick up 4, maybe.
Yep, that's a win.
2nd down to 6.
They can do that, they'll move it right into the end zone. Keep doing that.
Pick up a 3 or 4 yards on every play, you'll move the chains. That one got 4. Handoff, trying to get outside, does get there, but slides down. May have gotten a yard. It's going to bring up 3rd down.
That's unusual.
3rd down and 6 for the Trojans.
And it's just, foot just went from out from under him. Trying to make the right cut.
No gain on the play. 3rd down and 6. Again, this is one of those times where the first play was a dive play. I think if they run east-west on this field as opposed to north-south.
They've got some running room up there.
And there they go. They do try to get it right through the middle. And they're going to be short, but they'll have one more down to do it. 4th down. And let's see where they spotted it. It looks like it's 23. So they're going to need 3 yards.
4th and 3 for the Trojans.
All right, if I'm calling plays, I call something along those same lines. in between the tackles. What do you call it,
I'll
Coach?
tell you what, it looked to me like there was some room on the right side of the offensive line that last play.
Handoff turns in, keeps driving his feet. They're going to mark him about the 21. I think he's going to be about a yard short.
Yeah, I don't think he made that.
So Wagener-Salley celebrates. 9:53 left to go in the ball game. Wagener-Salley will see if they can sustain a drive and run off a lot of this clock.
That's a pretty good stand by Wagener-Salley right there.
Ball just over the 20. No, just over the 15. They're at the 14-yard line. Chandler Law Firm 1st and 10. All right, let's see. It looks like it's the 12-yard line. So 12-yard line, Wagener-Salley pinned deep. They're going to run to their left. And they get some room, and he's gone. This may go 88 yards unless somebody can run really fast. They're gaining on him, gaining and not going to catch him. Barnes goes 89 yards for the touchdown. Ridge Spring wasn't able to get it in the end zone to get an attempt at the tie. And the length of the field, what a run by Barnes.
That was a great run by Barnes, but I'll tell you what, if Trey Dean made a heroic effort to try to get to him, got to him just a yard or two too late, but boy, he was closing. He looked like a racehorse going down there. Ran the last turn, and what an effort by Dean defensively. However, that is a huge touchdown for Wagener-Salley, and Barnes finally breaks free.
Not sure what player's down, but Ridge Spring, one of the defenders chasing him down at the back of the end zone. So we have an Aiken Regional Medical Center timeout on the field as they attend to him. So let's take a look at the Aiken ophthalmology. Did you see that replay?
And that's an 88-yard run, I believe.
89 yards.
89?
88. That's
88?
right, 12.
Boom. Nice block by Landy right there that springs him. Now watch this. He's ahead by 5 yards. And here comes number 44, Trey Dean, and he is closing. And just can't get there in time, but what an effort.
And that's who is down in the back of the end zone. They get him up. He's walking under his own power. He might have been just flat out exhausted after that sprint.
That was pretty amazing. Both things were amazing. Landy's block, Barnes with a great run, Dean with a great effort.
So the touchdown puts Wagener-Salley up 14-0, and they'll go for another 2-point conversion, I'm sure.
Let's see what they do this time.
But you're right, Barnes may have put it on cruise control, and 44 was
he was charging.
coming on.
This is a more
Jackson.
Traditional.
Barnes takes a break. Landy out to pass, has a man in the middle, it's picked off. And that's going to be a touchback. 2-point conversion, no good. And the score now 14-0. Wagener-Salley over Ridge Spring. Ridge Spring, tough situation now. They'll have to score twice here in the fourth quarter with 9:38 left to play. We'll take a break. We'll be right back with the Aiken Standard Game of the Week.
I knew he was in trouble. I didn't really know that it was a heart attack, but I knew he was in trouble. His right coronary artery was 99% blocked and already collapsed.
So within 10 minutes, they had put a stent in.
I'm so glad that we made that decision to go to Aiken Regional right away.
We definitely made the right decision in going to Aiken Regional.
I don't think we could have gotten better care.
Up 8-0, goes 88 yards, and let's take a quick look at that play again. Well, that's the first touchdown. So we go back to how they got on the board to begin with, but that's okay. 14-0, Wagener-Salley leads. 9:38 left to go in the ball game. Short kick, fielded at 30, yep, at 30. Ball's on the ground. A little dive, looks like Wagener got the ball back. And that's going to be tough for Rich Spring to overcome. It's covered in Rich Spring territory at the 44-yard line. And Wagener-Salley back in business here.
Taekwon Jerry, a junior, caught that, picked up that fumble.
So a game has been extremely close. Now Wagener-Salley has a chance to make it look like a one-sided affair.
And it's been anything but that, hasn't it? It's been a tight ball game.
So Landy looks to the sideline. I think he's missing a running back. And Wagner's going to call a timeout. And I believe that Barnes is probably over on the sidelines, maybe getting oxygen after that 88-yard run. He was not back out on the field, and neither was Jackson. And that's a tough break for Rich Spring to have the fumble. Kid was running hard. He was getting up the field and going to get him in good field position right here close to midfield, but got hit hard and fumbled the ball, and that's part of it.
He did. He got hit pretty daggone hard. Ball came out immediately.
Again, we're at Rich Spring-Monetta High School for tonight's game of the week. And it's a heck of a setting up here. Level land, you can see the cars going by on Highway 1.
And it's been well attended tonight, both sides. Both teams well represented here in the stands.
Big rivalry. All right. Wagener-Salley ready to go. Here's Jackson. Jackson got some blockers. He runs hard. And the defense may be a little worn out at this point. 30-yard line inside the 30 to the 29. That's a pickup of 15 yards. Chandler Law Firm, 1st and 10.
And the ball carrier that time was actually Josh Davis, number 16. And he's a senior getting some time in the backfield right now. And that's Davis again.
Yeah, I was going to say Davis is in the game.
He's got fresh legs.
And it looks like he'll be inside the 10, so Wagener looking to put this one away as they're at the 6-yard line.
First round run.
29 yards on that carry. Landy going to keep. And he's in for the touchdown. So Wagener-Salley fumbles or recovers the fumble on the kickoff. Takes 3 plays to go down the field. And I believe the Rich Spring defense might be worn out just a little bit, Coach.
And I think a little disappointed and discouraged at this point, too. Okay. They've played a tough ball game. They've fought hard, done a lot of good things, been close on offense, haven't quite been able to get it into the end zone. And a couple of bad things have happened here. 88-yard run by Barnes and then a fumble on the ensuing kickoff. And I think the air might be out of the balloon at this point.
20-0, the score, 2-point conversion coming. And that's going to be Davis. Davis pushes, he's going to be short. So the 2-point attempt is no good. But Wagener well in front now, 20-0 over Rich Spring. 8:33 left to go in the game. Now, Ridge Spring has shown a little bit of ability to throw the ball downfield. They just haven't been able to catch the ball very well.
No, neither one of these teams is known for its throwing, that's for sure. They don't throw it enough. They don't throw it enough to make it an integral part of their offense. They're usually a run-oriented team, both of them.
It's going to be tough for Ridge Spring to score 3 touchdowns in 8.5 minutes.
Landy going to kick off this time. Had a different kicker the previous kickoff. Landy was taking a little break. He's back now.
Fielded around the 10-yard line. And whipped down around the 31-yard line. Channel off from 1st and 10 for Ridge Spring, and the Wagener fans starting to feel it.
And that was Tyler, number 8 on the return. He's a tough ball player. A nice tackle on the kickoff return, however.
So let's see what Ridge Spring will try to get done. Will Lampert put it in, Leopard put it in the air. He will. And it's caught. Nice little play. Nice pitch and catch.
And that's Tyler. They got him the ball out in space. Good little pitch and catch right there.
Picked up 6 yards. 2nd down and 3.5.
That was Landy and Bynum in on the tackle.
He's got a receiver out that throws it too high. Pass is incomplete. 3rd down.
We got a final score, I believe. Brooklyn Casey 31, Midland Valley 13. Williston Elko 46-0 over North. Once again, that's no surprise.
Three split wide to the right. Back to pass. There's a little screen that's going to pick up the 1st down and more. Nice catch, good run. Sullivan, and where's that been all game? That actually looked like a great play.
Collier Sullivan.
40-yard line.
Get him the ball out in space. He's trouble. Nice effort. Nice effort.
I picked up about 14, 15 yards. They go on the ground, hit hard, no gain. It's going to bring up 2nd down. Actually lost a yard. 2nd down and 11.
And it looked like he was going to have some running room that time. And Jacoby Schofield, a junior defensive lineman, had a different opinion. That was quite a tackle.
Clock runs. 7:05 left to go in the ball game. Drops back. Going to throw the disc.
Oh, he's wide open, wide open.
Stop and wait for it. He's got it. And he's just short of the touchdown. He's at the 2. Had to wait for it. A little wobbly, but it's effective.
And that was number 18, Kenyon Liggins, a junior wide receiver who brought that pass in.
All right, they're going to mark him at the 1, just short. So Ridge Spring knocking on the door to get in the end zone. And a timeout called. Wagener wants to talk about it, and we'll take a break with him. We'll be right back.
You can't always be there to protect her down the road. Make sure the tire she's riding on will. With a revolutionary Michelin Premier tire, even when half worn, it's still safe, thanks to EverGrip technology. The Michelin Premier tire, safe when new, safe when worn.
Ridge Spring-Monetta knocking on the door of the Tyler Tire end zone. Try to get on the board for the first time tonight as they trail 20-0 as we take a look at that last play in the Aiken ophthalmology. Did you see that replay?
And that had to be a defensive bust. There's nobody within 10 yards of him. If the ball had been delivered just a little bit longer, he'd have been in the end zone, but he's down on the 1.
Now a flag comes out. Yeah, I think they may call a timeout, offsides against Wagner. That is what they call.
Offside on Wagener-Salley.
Abbeville over Silver Bluff, no surprise there. Abbeville #1 in the state in their division. All right, we'll try it again from the half-yard line as it's half the distance to the goal. Oh, and a fumble. And that's...
Oh, that one hurts.
A little bit of what probably Ridge Springs last couple of weeks have probably been like. They lost last week 2-0.
Second and goal, ball out at the 6-yard line.
So 5-yard loss on the play.
And Collier has been such an important player and such a tough player all day and night, and dropped that football there. I'm sure he's upset about that.
So Collier Sullivan back in the backfield. They're going to sprint to the right, going to throw over the middle. Oh, he's sacked. He pump faked and couldn't get it off. Probably wise that he didn't throw it. He didn't have an open receiver.
Caleb Shaw with the sack.
And Wagener-Salley's timeout, even after the offsides.
Third and goal from the 11.
So all the way back to the 11. They've lost 10 yards. They need 11 yards for the touchdown. Going to go into the end zone, throw it up for grabs. Nice defense. And that's your favorite one of mine, Swedenberg. Gets up in the air and knocks it down. Looked like they were going to have a chance for that.
It sure did.
This, I think I would bring a man, maybe try to run a jet sweep. Looks like North Augusta came back on South Aiken.
34-24, North Augusta right at the moment. That's a pretty big comeback in the second half.
And I believe that's a final. Yep. Another sack. Fourth down. So Ridge Spring gets it down there, but can't do anything with it.
And that's got to be so disappointing. They got it down to the 1-yard line, and 3 plays where they lose yardage in a row.
So 5:27 left to go in the ball game. Wagener-Salley holds and retains their 20-0 lead, and they can run the football, run the clock out, and head back down Highway 39 and old 96 Indian Trail to home.
And like you said, the score is going to look like 20-0 in a pretty solid all-over ball game, but this was a tight ball game here tonight. Ridge Springs got to be very frustrated. The last two ball games now have not put any points on the board.
Wagener-Salley looking for a running back. Now they're going to call timeout. I don't believe Coach will be too pleased with all of that.
I have a feeling that they've got some backups in there right now, and oftentimes there's confusion trying to get them in the game.
Yeah, they got that long run from Barnes, and Barnes, I think, is maybe going to take the rest of the night off. All right, the timeout was quick, and I believe that's Wagner's last timeout, not that they needed any. Thought we were going to have the game over by 10 o'clock, slowed down here in the last quarter.
And I believe the TV broadcast will end at 10 one way or the other, will it not?
That's right. We'll be losing our viewers over at Atlantic Broadband. We appreciate you joining us tonight and watching the game. We'll be back next week from Aiken High. Aiken High will be playing host to Brooklyn Casey. And we haven't seen a final score on the Aiken game, have we?
Have not. We know that Brooklyn Casey was victorious tonight.
Aiken
and we know that North Augusta came back and is a winner.
Aiken was leading Airport last time we saw it, but that was at halftime. There it is, 19-14, and that was the score at half. So that'll be where we are next week on the Game of the Week. So tune in 7 o'clock for the pregame. If you're watching us on Atlantic Broadband, if you're watching us online, we're finished this game as the clock runs. 4:35 left to go in the game.
Elson Palmer on the stop.
No gain on those two plays. 3rd down and 10.
And it is Josh Davis carrying the ball the last couple times for Wagener-Salley. Davis now goes out as a wide receiver. Landy is back in the ball game. Maybe a delay.
I believe that's a delay of the game. So we ran the clock down less than 4 minutes.
Third 15.
So 3rd down 15. And you would expect Wagner here to just run the football, run the punting unit out.
There's a mistake.
Hands
There's
off.
your jet sweep.
Finds a inside move down to the goal line. And they call it touchdown. Rich Spring is on the board. So Wagener-Salley loses their shutout. I'm sure that'll give coach something to fuss about next week at practice. But that's got to make Rich Spring feel a little better about themselves. They shut out last week and lose 2-0. Get on the board here at least this week against Wagner, and they'll go for 2. And then it's onside kick. You just never know.
I'm sure they'll try the onside kick.
And they're missing a player. That may be an equipment deal again. Had quite a few of those calls since you brought it up.
I wish I hadn't brought it up.
Pass in the end zone. That's a little short.
A little short.
2-point conversion is no good. 20-6 our score. 3:28 left to go in the ball game. So Rich Spring will go out and line up for kickoff and see if we can get an onside kick.
Let's see if we can get that instant replay of the touchdown for Ridge Spring.
We'll go look at the Aiken ophthalmology. Did you see that replay? That is the 2-point conversion that was no good. It had been the play before that we were looking for. Here we go. Turns it inside. Good run. That's Butler. Touchdown.
I think that was Johnny Freeman that made that score. Number 9? Is that correct?
I thought it was number 8, but if it's number 9,
number 8,
it would be Freeman.
Yeah.
We can go back and look at it again. The Ridge Spring crowd would probably enjoy it. Here comes Wagner out. Let's see what kind of onside kick Ridge Spring tries. Number 33 is Brendan Frazier. Frazier's been in on a few tackles tonight too. Okay, here we go. Wagner looking for an onside kick. And that's a pretty good one. If it goes 10 yards, oh, nice job by Wagner to fall on it before.
Yes, it was. That was tough. That was a nice kick.
That was a real good kick. Surprised he didn't go ahead and hit the guy for Wagner to block him out, because they're going to mark him right at the 50-yard line. It went exactly 10 yards, and Wagner did the smart thing, recovered it before Ridge Spring could. But I'm very impressed. We've seen a lot of onside kicks that were terrible. That was a good one.
That was a nice one, I think.
We see them on the college level all the time that are just terrible. Ooh, Missouri had one last week that was terrible. Didn't go 10 yards, went about 7 yards. And they were offsides to boot. Nobody's covering Swedenberg. Nope, they get a guy out there. I don't think they're going to go to him anyway. And that is Jackson. And Ridge Spring going to call timeout. So they're not giving up yet, Coach.
I'll tell you what, they're fighting. And did you see who made that tackle?
Cherry?
Trey Dean.
Trey Dean. I had a choice of Cherry. Cherry gave me 2 of them, so I was going with that. So Ridge Spring fighting it out.
They can make a stop here and get the football back. No question about that, but they've got to do it 2 more times.
Ridge Spring players looking at the trophy on the bench.
As I remember, the teams will meet out in the middle of the field afterwards to see who gets to keep the trophy or who has to give it away.
And it looks like Wagener-Salley will be taking this one unless Ridge Spring has a trick up their sleeves. Oh, Jackson brought back, and he stays on his feet. Now he's going to get good yardage. He's going to pick up the first down and some more. And that's tough for Ridge Spring. Had him stopped in the backfield, knocked him backwards, and he sprung up and took off.
And the man that made the hit in the backfield was Trey Dean. He is all over the field.
But did not wrap up.
And then he made it all the way down the field to where the tackle was made. I'm impressed by him, obviously.
Man, he can run fast, too.
He's a heck of a football player. Yep, he's a heck of a football player.
And I believe he probably got the wind knocked out of him when he dove for Barnes in the end zone on that 88-yard run. And he was gaining on him. All right, they marked the ball ready. Wind the clock. Wagner not going to worry about running the clock. They're going to run a play. So he hit there on first down. Picks up a yard. Second down, and he's going to gain 2 yards. 2nd and 8. We'll see if the War Eagles will let the clock run. 2:40 left in the ball game. Seem to take their time a little bit more on this one. This is the backup quarterback, Hayden Cherry. Yeah, it was a fumble. Looks like Wagner.
Fumble on the play.
Timeout, Ridge Spring. 2:20 left in the ball game. What Ridge Spring calls timeout. That's their second. They may have, I don't know if they had another timeout earlier or not. Scoreboard does not give us that information. So it'll be 3rd down and 2. Wagener-Salley, for all intent and purposes, they pick up this 1st down. They can pretty much go into victory formation.
I believe that would do it.
As Coach said, it's 20-6. But it's really been a pretty close ball game into the 4th quarter, and the 88-yard run broke the backs of Ridge Spring. Landy, quarterback. Here comes the jet sweep. Now he fakes it, and now he's going to run, and he's going to pick up the 1st down, I do believe, as he crosses the 25-yard line. They stop the clock as he picks up the 1st down. Channel off from 1st and 10. 2:13 left in the ball game. They wind the clock.
You know, this has been a good, hard-knocking football game for Class A school.
Oh, yeah.
And both coaches said it would be a physical ball game, and this game just goes to prove you don't have to be 6'5" and weigh 300 pounds to be a hard-nosed football player. There are some good football players on this field tonight.
It takes heart. Not the biggest players in the world in some cases.
No, that's the case. You know, they're not as big as some of the guys that are on even some of the 4A, 5A teams in the state, but they play well, play hard.
Trey Dean, your man, making the tackle.
And Landy looks like he's shaking up just a little bit.
I think Landy's through for the night. Clock winds down, 1:15. 2nd down. I really don't believe they have to run plays. If they just take a knee, they'd be fine.
And that is Davis. He's had a couple nice runs when he got a chance into the ball game here tonight.
Yeah.
That time they corralled him pretty well, but he came in and had a couple of big runs early.
He had a 14-yard run and a 29-yard run on the drive for the last touchdown after the fumbled kickoff. And they got one more play to run, and they can call it a night. It looks like they're just going to let the clock run out. And Coach is walking across the field to give the Wagner coach the trophy. And the Aiken Classic trophy will go home with Wagener-Salley after spending a couple of years here at Ridge Spring. The coaches shake hands, and the rest of the players will file across and shake hands. good ball game. Rich Spring played tough and really coming in. Our expectation, at least I know mine was, I think yours was too.
Yeah.
That Wagener-Salley would be too much for Ridge Spring, that they've got it on a roll. But Ridge Spring gave them all they wanted.
They sure did. And especially at the beginning of the ball game, I thought Ridge Spring really did a great job defensively. And throughout the night, I thought they were very aggressive. And you look at the game, and if you pick it apart a little bit, just a couple of big plays are really all that Wagener-Salley was able to pull off that made the difference in this ball game. And it was a tight, hard-fought ball game all night long. Both teams played very hard. I'm impressed by some players on both teams. Physical, tough, elusive. Okay. I don't know what's going to happen in the playoffs here, but Wagener-Salley, I would suggest, is a tough team. They're number 2 in the state. As they go into the playoffs, they may need to be a little bit more diversified offensively, but certainly tough football team. And Ridge Spring-Monetta, yeah, they're another one of those teams that I like to say if they got into the playoffs, there'd be a few teams that wouldn't want to play them. That's all I'll say.
They didn't get a shot of it, but Coach Fox went over to about the 20-yard line, walked toward the stands and held the trophy with both hands over his head, and there was quite a celebration over in the Wagener-Salley stands of they got the trophy. And you're right, that's sort of a neat tradition to have, and some of these other schools might want to think about that, of having a trophy that they...
You see that in college a lot. You'll have a couple of rivals that have a trophy.
Axe, yeah,
the Axe is one of them.
The Big Ten teams seem
the
to have
Iron
all
Bowl
that.
and all kinds of things like that. But yeah, this is good. And I like the way the players respond to it also. It's important to them to win this ball game.
Well, it's fun. It's, like you said, it's a ball. We tend to forget about it sometimes, where we've got teams like South Aiken and North Augusta, Midland Valley, all playing in 4A, and you tend to pay more attention to that sometimes. But this was a fun game and a fun night to be out here. Beautiful night. It's a little bit nippy here at the end, but we're not freezing too bad. And it was fun to sit in the stands.
Not bad at all. Not bad at all.
All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back and wrap things up for another Aiken Standard Game of the Week. We'll be back.
I had back issues for a while. I kept going back with different complaints. My doctor, he said, surgery's not going to do you any good. So I would recommend to you therapy. After therapy, I'm a lot better. I'm so grateful for that. I'm a lot better. Thanks to Aiken Regional Hospital for the joy that was put back into my life. Now I'm able to get on the floor and play with the children, and it's just a relief.
Salley celebrates their 20-6 win over their rivals from Ridge Spring. As the Ridge Spring players all, I don't know if that was the alma mater, but they all paid tribute to their fans too. And good game here at Ridge Spring-Monetta High School. Now we look at the scoreboard, and right off the bat, disappointment. North Augusta comes back and beats South Aiken. Even though
disappointment for South Aiken, not for North Augusta.
I'm disappointed because Coach picked North Augusta and I picked South Aiken, so that's the only one we're different on.
Hey, Strom Thurmond 18-7 over Gilbert. That's a good win for Strom Thurmond. Gilbert playing up just a little bit. Abbeville, Silver Bluff hung in there, but Abbeville probably the best team in that division. Williston-Elko 46-0 over North. No question about that one. Before it even was kicked off, probably. Aiken gets their second straight win. Like to see that, 19-14.
That game's not over yet.
It's not.
That's in the fourth quarter.
Okay, I thought that was over too. All right, Brooklyn-Casey, 31-13 over Midland Valley, and Fox Creek. They've had a couple of tough weeks here. Abbeville took care of them last week and saluted this week, and they take it on the chin. Okay.
And did you get Williston down there?
Yeah, Williston, 46-0 over North.
Don't want to leave them out.
No, and I thought I said that was not unexpected. They
that's 3 games in a row for Williston, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
So Williston getting things turned around, maybe make some noise, head to playoffs from them possibly. Here tonight, Wagener-Salley wins 20-6. Next week, we will be at Aiken High again in the box, and I'll be on assignment, so Coach will be up in the box, but it won't be cold or it won't be hot. It'll be about like this, I believe, next week. And that'll be fun.
Looking forward to that game. I think it'll be an air show. Okay, we got two good passers.
Two really good quarterbacks. Reed Sharpia from BC will be coming down. We've gotten to see him a couple times over the years, and he's excellent. And Wallace coming on strong for Aiken. They pull off that win tonight. They'll have 2 wins in a row, and they'll be bear hunting. And Bearcats from BC.
And Wallace is the leading quarterback in the area, okay, in terms of passing and so on. He puts up a couple touchdowns every week, and pretty impressive.
All right, that's going to do it for tonight. For Trip Jerido directing the game tonight, for our cameramen, and for Matt, who spends his last night with us as he goes on to Alabama, as he's gotten the call up to the major leagues, and he'll be doing big duty there. Good luck to Matt, and we'll be back next week at Aiken High. Until then, for Ken Brace, I'm Ed Jerido. Good night, everybody.